Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to Viewer's Choice. Your selection is about to begin. But first, take a look at what else you can see this week.
Hey, dudes, inviting you to travel through time. First stop, a long layover at the video store.
Bogus.
Wait, you've got Viewer's Choice.
Excellent.
Hello, you rotten little bloodsuckers.
America's most popular now. Get extra value. $12.50 cash back.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. What? Say what again?
Let's get out of here! Like now!
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons.
This is my ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. This is the core. We broadcast our pirate signal back into the Matrix.
Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar with your host, Anesto Pablo, the double-headed coin, and your co-host, Pablo the Thunderbolt. Together, we are the Pyramid Podcast.
Have a nice day.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
You've got to get mad.
I'm mad as hell. At this point, we need to kick the door down. We need to rage against the machine. We need to take the power back. We need to press our government for answers. We need to press our officials. We need to be as loud as possible. This is no longer acceptable. We have these programs, they're announced. We have fighter pilots who've engaged UFOs. They put their lives at risk and they're being denied. They're being told, be quiet. Still to this day, there's a disinformation attempt to make a laugh factor. There's infiltration from different intelligence agencies, even within the UFO community. At this point, I feel we need to show that we are mad as hell. We need to ask questions and we need to rile shit up.
Take the power back. I'm as mad as hell. I'm not going to take this anymore.
Welcome, everybody, to the Pyramid Podcast.
To the Pyramid Podcast. We are at episode 19. I got it right today, folks. 19. Can you believe it?
Wow.
19 episodes.
In a blink of an eye, we're coming to you deep from within the Narnia wardrobe.
That's right.
Inside the Nebuchadnezzar.
Inside the Nebuchadnezzar. So, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I just want to ask Guandulo.
Oh, yes.
If you have any questions to ask him before we start this?
Well, I wasn't going to ask him this question, but I'll ask it to him because I wanted to start. Should we start this podcast today with an ohm?
With an ohm? Let's see. What do you say, Guandulo? All right, let's see.
What does it say here?
It'll be interesting what Mr. Guandulo got to say.
Here we go.
Oh, he says ask again.
Oh, should we start the podcast with a Om? Here we go.
It says you bet.
All right.
All right.
So let's do it. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We'll take one deep breath.
Wow, that was cleansing. And also, next time we'll ask Wandulo if we should start it with a hue. For people that are not familiar with hewing, I tell you, like my son used to tell me all the time, Google it. Google it. Google it.
But here's the thing. You got to spell hue the right way, because you told I was Googling and couldn't find what the hell is this hue thing you were talking about. So how do you properly look up hue?
H-U.
And what is it?
It's a mantra, an ancient prayer to God, to the Almighty, to the omnipresent being that created us. And it's a very simple mantra. All you have to do is get yourself in a comfortable spot, close your eyes, and you hew. And by hewing, I mean this. Hew.
And with that, we started the podcast.
Yes. A nice cleansing Om and some hewing.
Yes.
To clean the palate, clean the mind, clear the mind. I just want to let you know. For those people that wake up in the morning and they need their cup of Java, and if they're like me, this is the way I start my mornings. I get up, I shower. Right after I shower, I put a little bit of scented oil.
Okay.
And I rub it all over my body, then I dry off. Then that scented oil is with me all day. It's very, very fragrant, and it lifts up the spirits.
Okay.
So then after that I do that, I go make myself a pot of coffee, and then I take my vitamins. And if it's a chilly day, guess what? I put on a hoodie. Well, guess what? Go to thepyramidshop.com. We have our own merch.
That's right. We got fungi mushroom coffee fusion with lion's mane and chaga. It's good for taste and it's great for your body. Chaga mushroom is a powder made from organic chaga mushrooms and mycelium. Chaga mushrooms contain a wide variety of constituents, including beta glucans and triterpenes, long used in traditional Russian medicine as adaptogen. Chaga is also an extremely high antioxidant, having the highest ORAC value, over 40,000 for any fruit, vegetable, or mushroom tested so far. Half caffeine, 45 milligrams per 8-ounce serving, more mental clarity. Replace your regular coffee with our 100% organic Arabica coffee mushroom blend, over 1,200 milligrams of mushroom extracts per serving, and 616 milligrams of lion's mane, and that will be 618 milligrams of chaga. And this is 90% USDA organic Arabica coffee.
So that's a cup of coffee with a pulse.
That's right. And for swag, we got our nice hoodie right here. We got our little pyramid creepster hoodie for the Halloween feel.
I like the logo in the back.
Yeah, you have the logo in the back, black or and white.
I just want to give a shout out to this gentleman who created this logo. His name is Tim Healy. He created the alien, climbing up the pyramid.
Yes.
He was a very talented young man
This guy.
He was a very talented young man when I met him about 25 years ago. And he created that logo for us, and mass shout outs to Mr. Tim Healy.
And for those of you that want supplements, we also have supplements now in our store via the Pyramid, which is our brand of pyramid inspired supplements. They're mushrooms. You got your lion's mane, the Leo Optimal, which is multivitamins, and you have your brain boost, which is a mushroom extract complex. You have your Fortify, which helps for bone and health support, and you have your Flow, which is great for your mental as well. This is cordyceps mushroom, and you have Thrive, which is another mushroom, which is a chaga mushroom. So you can get those on their own. So if you like it in the coffee, you can get them cordyceps and chaga on your own.
Now the Optimal, is that like a multivitamin where I can take it every day?
It's a multivitamin, and it's a gummy bear. Yeah, for adults. So you can just,
for those people that don't like swallowing pills.
That's right.
Like my wife.
And for the brain boost as well, as I believe it might be a gummy. Let me just double check here. I believe, that's right. So the brain boost here is an advanced formula, combines 10 of nature's most studied, sought after mushrooms: Mitake, shiitake, lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, chaga, and turkey tail. White button mushroom, black fungus, and royal sun mushrooms. So all those mushrooms that you just heard are all in this brain boost here. It's our highest quality of mushroom gummies, consisting of 250 milligrams of mushrooms in the most beneficial proportion. This mushroom extract complex is exactly what you need for your active lifestyle, packed with the essential vitamins and nutrients that help support healthy cell function. Go-getters, thinkers, wanderers will appreciate medicinal mushrooms that help support cognitive functions, which is important because both of us, we have that problem of recall. Everybody relies on Google nowadays. Google has become basically our brains nowadays.
Like I said, the other day I was thinking of my old friend.
Right.
And I was like, damn it, what was it that we used to call him? And I was ready to go on my phone and start Googling. I'm like, what is my best friend from like 15, 30 years ago? I'm like, what am I doing?
So yeah, it's very important, the mental, you think about it like this. We update our phones every year. We update our phones often. I mean, if we don't buy a new one, we still get the update, and we update the firmware. Well, we need to update the firmware we're born with, which is our mind. We gotta keep that working optimal. So this is what this does. It helps support memory retention, which is important, and making them a perfect brain booster for working out and studying. So if you're working out and you want to get really into those workouts, this is a good supplement to have. Or if you're studying, trying to cram for a test or something like that, again, this is something good to have.
I just want to say though, you did a phenomenal job in the design. I love it.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, each one has its own little unique design inspired by the actual ingredients here and its function. So
yeah, I like it very much. I like how you put pyramid, with the pyramid and all that. Pretty cool. Cool.
All right. So
I
with
love
that
the branding.
and what's important here, what's most important, and for what we need to convey to you, our listeners, is that yes, yes, you need this. Yes, this is great for you. And yes, we're not gonna, lie to you. This is great product. But what this does is support the podcast, which is important. If you like what you're hearing, this supports the podcast and it keeps us going, keeps us rocking, keeps us not adhering to any one company or whatever. Allows us to be free, allows us to post truly speak our minds and post all the videos without having to worry about are we going to be taken down from wherever. All this stuff costs money, so every time you purchase coffee, if you drink coffee at all, if you're a coffee drinker, I mean, you could easily be buying your coffee from us and still supporting the podcast while you listen, or you can donate if you would like to. But either way, if you buy a product or donate, I think that qualifies you of no longer being known in our universe as a bobolongo.
There you go.
Or a welepu, whatever you want.
No, you know what? Bobolongo is bad, but welepu, that is like that's the basement.
That's like if you've been listening to this podcast for years and you haven't even bought a product, you haven't done nothing, you've just been soaking up all this value and not supporting, that makes you a welepu.
Oh man.
You gotta support, man. We support you. You gotta support us, and the way we support you is by shouting you out here on this cast, and we try to get you as much attention as possible, as well as providing value to you in the content of what we're about to unveil here. So,
Welepu, no bueno.
No bueno. No, senor. No bueno.
No, it's no good.
All right. So
what do you got for us today?
So I got some good ones and I got some really, really juicy stuff, but I'm going to start us off with something that I don't know if you've seen, but have you seen the new PSA that's been going around in New York?
The new PSA?
Uh-huh.
No.
So I want to show this to you now. Oh.
Is that going through the roadcaster?
Yes, it is.
What?
What's this that we got here?
Hello there.
What's up? Pasa afuera. We ordering?
No. You're talking to us live on the podcast.
That's right. You're live. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
This is our man on the street right now. AKA Trucker.
Oh, our boots on the ground.
Yeah. Dímelo.
Oh,
Coming
man, everything
to
is
you
good.
live from the Pyramid Podcast.
Yeah, back from the land of chaos and love and all that stuff that's going on in that land over there.
Oh, so you're
Republic. Back. I'm back. Everything came out. Everything is good. I'm back over here. I'm back in town.
Well, just to let our listeners know, we had a tragedy. One of our loved ones passed away, and may he rest in peace. We'll miss him dearly. So our boots on the ground, he went over there to go pay his respects. But, now that we got you on the phone, brother, we have a little anomaly here. What are people doing wearing sweatshirts and hoodies in 90-degree weather?
and wearing socks with flip-flops riding motorcycles.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Oh,
that's
no.
that's the latest style now. There's more motorcycles in DR than there are ants in maybe in South America.
Oh, my. They're like locusts, right?
Holy shit! They are. Yo, this shit is over there is like incredible. If you don't get, and you gotta be careful, they don't give a shit. They run you over if you don't. You're the one that needs to look out for them.
Oh, my God. So they rule the streets.
They're like unofficially the most dangerous thing going on over there right now.
Oh my God.
And let me tell you, you know, they get around. Yo, they'll pack the motorcycles. I've seen motorcycles with like a mountain of plantains.
Oh, but you know another thing that you see over there that is very common. You know, like a mother or the dad of a little 1-year-old kid, and they're riding in the front. They're riding right in front of the motorcycle.
And they'll put a basket on their head, and the infant is inside the basket.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey man, when you got you need to transport and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, over here, a kid cannot even wear roller skates without having like a bulletproof helmet on.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a little like they were sending them to Mars or something.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yo,
they cannot even enjoy it.
Let me tell you something. You know, when I was driving last night, I almost crashed because of you.
Oh no! Why? What happened?
Because he sent me a video that says, "Yeah." Every time I think about it,
oh no!
He said, "May God have mercy on my soul."
Oh no!
He jumps into the water.
Oh no!
Yo, that water looked nice. Where was that?
La Presa.
That's the Presa de Tavera.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you guys need to go over there. It's beautiful.
How deep is that water? It's pretty deep, right?
Oh yeah, within like, let me tell you something. You start swimming like within 30, 40 feet. You cannot even dive to
the bottom,
the ground, to the bottom.
Wow.
So imagine in the center. That shit must be like a good, 1,000 feet maybe.
Wow. Just for our listeners to know, La Presa Tavera is a dam in Santiago, which it dams up the what river is it? The Rio Jack, the Jack
Bao.
Oh, the Bao River.
Rio Bao, yeah.
Let's see if I can find that.
The Bao River. I mean, that was like the lifeline back in the day.
Oh yeah. Oh man, these people over there, they fish out of that area. Like they got good fishing.
Did you have some? You ate some?
No, I didn't have a chance because they, we were on a little time restricted type of situation. But,
I wonder what fish do they catch there, and are they big?
They have about 4 different types. And they got what they call it.
That's it, right there. We're looking at Rio Wow right now on the computer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See if our listeners can see it big here.
So yeah, just like
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me plug in this.
So for those of you listening, this is the Rio Wow.
So La Presa Tavera is sort of like almost the same thing as Lake Mead in Vegas.
Yeah, smaller. Yeah, like a smaller
version.
Yeah. But except the water over there is way better than Lake Mead.
No, I saw that water looked beautiful. It looked blue actually.
Oh my God! But not only that, but it's very a good temperature to be in there. You know, it's not hot and it's not too cold. It's just very pleasurable, very easy.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And you know, like from the view that I was, you know, you don't see a lot because that's not it. That thing is like I'm talking about big. From the view that there are certain areas that you don't see the whole thing because you need a different angle to see really good. But there's a lot of things going on over there. There's a few restaurants that are right next to it where you go, you buy your own, or either they catch the fish that from right there, and then they cook it for you.
Oh, that sounds good. Gerald, Google Presa de Tavera.
Presa de Tavera. How you
Presa?
No, Taveras is Taveras.
No, I was spelling Presa.
Oh, Presa, Presa.
Yeah.
Presa
de Tavera.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I know that you went over there under the sad circumstances, but you know, I heard you reconnected with some people of your past.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh my God, I had like in a little short time, I did more than what the locals do there in 10 years.
Wow.
Man, I went up.
I saw you went up to the mountain.
Yeah, I went up all the way to the top. You know, I went with my cousin over there. You know, Lelo, medio arrebatado el tipo, pero you know he's okay.
He's got a couple screws.
He got a couple screws. Se le están saliendo más últimamente.
You need a wrench to tighten it up a little bit.
Hasta medio habladorcito se está poniendo.
Oh no. Well, it happens with age, I guess.
Yeah. But no, yeah. Oh man, I wish you guys would be able to come with me, man. But we could have so much fun doing that.
We got a plan.
Man,
we got a
plan.
Trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Being out there, you know that when you have so much fun, sometimes you say, "Oh no, I'm gonna bring somebody with me. I want to bring my wife or friends or whatever." But hopefully, with the hope that you can reenact the same thing that you went through.
Right.
But it doesn't. Very rarely doesn't happen like that. But if I could have you guys be with me and experience half of what I hopefully turn out to be like really a good time, you guys will love it. Man, it's so much fun, but you gotta be an open mind. You cannot be like, what the hell is going on? You gotta you gotta roll with the you gotta
roll with the punches, do as the Romans do. For our podcast listeners, we're talking about Dominican Republic and what we call the crib, which is Sabana Iglesia in Santiago, which is like a little town, would you say south of Santiago or north?
That always confuses me, by the way. I think it's south.
South.
Yeah.
Okay, because here on the podcast, if you make a mistake, you get a pow pow.
Oh yeah, you don't want
to. Pow pow pow.
So the other day, Pablo Morado said prescription jugs. And I was like, oh, you deserve a
pow, pow, pow.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean,
look into it.
What do you do?
You just haven't looked into it. If you look into it and you have proof that it is round, instead of going, oh, some scientist figured it out, somebody figured it out, but you figure it out. You try to figure it out. No, because when they look into it, it's common sense. And when you look into it.
The podcast is Pyramid. Right, Pyramid.
The Pyramid.
That's right, Pyramid. PARAMID. And when you if you go on to thepyramidshop.com, you can see us live.
You can see us live there every Monday, and you can look through our archives. We're on episode 19 already. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Have you had one of those interesting stories being told by when like all you crazy encounter with
we're getting pretty soon. We're gonna have a segment. My crazy Uber stories.
Oh yeah, we should definitely do one.
Yeah, we haven't. There's so much things to to talk about. We
taxi cab confessions.
Yeah. We only have a 3-hour slot, so believe it or not, 3 hours go by fast.
Yeah, and it's hard to put everything into 3 hours.
It's hard to condense.
The 3 hours go really fast, except when you're flying in an airplane full of people, and it's like
no, their minutes are hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Jam in 3 little seats between people, and you're like, what is going on? Why is this damn plane hasn't landed yet?
Yeah.
And plus, when you fly Mellow Yellow Airlines, you know what Mellow Yellow Airlines is, Jerome?
No, what's Mellow Yellow?
A Spirit.
Mellow Yellow.
Yo, you gotta be mellow and yellow to get on that tin can.
Oh my god!
You're in there like tuna fish.
Jenny calls it the banana boat.
Yeah,
the banana boat.
Yeah.
That's great.
And some other people also call it the ghetto airline.
Hood Airlines, where you can chill.
Where you can chill.
From your stoop to the sky. Hang out at the Mellow Yellow.
Where us in the hood, we fly.
Well, it's we're getting closer to our next break, but before we let you go, we wanted to you called us in the middle of a video I was about to play. Now you won't be able to see the video, but you can hear the audio. Can you hear everything okay?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay, perfect. So we would like to hear your opinion on this video. And what we had left the audience on a cliffhanger was, this is a new PSA that's going out to New Yorkers.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
Let's hear it.
All right. Oh.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit, okay? So what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside fast. You, your friends, your family, get inside. And no, staying in the car is not an option. You need to get into a building and move away from the windows. Step 2, stay inside. Shut all doors and windows. Have a basement? Head there. If you don't have one, get as far into the middle of the building as possible. If you were outside after the blast, get clean immediately. Remove and bag all outer clothing to keep radioactive dust or ash away from your body. Step 3, stay tuned. Follow media for more information. Don't forget to sign up for Notify NYC for official alerts and updates. And don't go outside until officials say it's safe. All right? You've got this.
Interesting. But you know what? We do that anyway in New York every day.
And what is this in reference to? Like a nuclear exchange?
Yeah.
There's like a nuclear
in case there's like a nuclear blast or whatever, that's what they're saying.
Oh, that sounds so sad. It's so Oh my God! Oh shoot! That is a crazy thing. Are you kidding me? If you knew that there was a nuclear exchange coming up, you know what you need to do? Run to the nearest, the nearest girl that you know, and propose to her. Hey, we need to make out as soon as possible.
Before we're fucking baking.
Yeah, because there's no way to escape all that procedure to see if you can like survive all that. You can throw all that out the window because none of that stuff is gonna work.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you kidding me?
None of that stuff is gonna work.
I mean, they're trying to like say, oh, you need your iodine pills, like.
Right. So I brought this video up because we always recommend to hear with your third ear.
Listen with your third ear and see with your third eye.
Right. So what if it's obvious that a nuclear blast, I mean, what are you gonna do? Hide inside? How is that? Or wait for what official? There's a nuclear blast. How are you gonna?
Oh yeah, the cops are gonna be like, I'm gonna go storm this radiation that's killing everybody.
So then, why put out the PSA? What's the purpose behind it?
That's just to give, I guess, the mass people like a little security to like, to make them feel better. But none of that stuff will like.
Well, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. That I think that's just their way of tightening the grip and having more control over you. The more they pound this into your mind, the more fear you get in your heart, and the more control they have over you.
Now, let me ask you something, guys. Is this video recently created due to the tension between the U.S. and Russia, or is this something old?
No, this is new.
Well, this was done in July 2022.
Yeah, because I heard on the radio, actually, I heard it on Coast to Coast with George Norrie, that this is like going to be the new norm in major cities. Like they're going to have this commercials running, to prepare people in case of a nuclear blast. So now we got to deal with that.
Now we're going back to the we sort of like going back to the 60s. When they were doing the silly stuff.
Yeah.
Don't look away. Hide under the table.
Right.
Oh, that is so sad. That is like so pathetic. That is like that's. By the way, that's a comedy right there.
It is. That's a comedy in the making right there.
That's right.
Yeah. Like that's like that might be a little. That might have some legit things to follow if you like 50 miles from the blast.
Right.
But imagine a blast right there in the center of New York, like all that you could throw that all that stuff out the window. Most likely you're gonna be like
right.
So affected by it, all that procedure. It's not gonna work.
Nah, and with the pandemonium, people running. They're going to think that people are going to be like, oh, we're going to follow that announcement. We're going to go inside, close our windows. No. Right. People are going to be like, doing everything that they wanted to do before the blast. Now they're going to do it.
Right. They're going to do this is the last days
like
on
airplane.
Earth.
I chose a bad day to quit smoking.
Right.
Damn, I chose a bad day to stop fentanyl.
Like, damn, we can have a little fentanyl around.
Yeah.
That's a good day for me to start doing something I haven't done before.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
All
So
right,
what do you think
kid.
of-
So
okay.
So
right.
again, this is we call him the Warlock.
The Warlock.
Boots on the ground in Florida. He traces up and down the Florida. What is it? What's the main road you travel down?
Oh, 95, I-4, 75, I-10, 301, Route 27. Route 27 cuts you through the central Florida. You see, like, in areas, alligator, crossing the street, and they're dead.
Oh,
They look like this, and when cars run them over, they look like they stay like they're laughing at you.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's our man on the ground in Florida. He's always looking up at the skies to see for any anomalies and strange things on the road, because he's he burns the midnight oil. So
that's right.
Oh yeah. I should talk to you soon, man. I'm back on the road tomorrow night.
All right. So stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
All right. This is our man on the ground. Later, Mr. Warlock.
Later.
Okay, guys. Take care.
As Ukraine succeeds on the battlefield, Vladimir Putin is becoming embarrassed and pushed into a corner. And I wonder, Mr. President, what you would say to him if he is considering using chemical or tactical nuclear weapons.
Don't. This war, unlike anything since World War II.
And the consequences of that would be what? What would the U.S. response be?
I think I would tell you if I knew exactly what it would be. Of course I'm not going to tell you. It'll be consequential. It'll become more of a pariah in the world than they ever have been. And depending on the extent of what they do, will determine what response would occur.
Popsicle? No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey, parents, tired of those out-of-control kids throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go? At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay. Naptime works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Nap Time, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Naptime solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more. Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple. So if this looks familiar...
I feel pregnant.
Then don't wait. Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying,
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time.
Nap Time, when they just won't shut up. Nap Time is not legal in the following states.
What'd you think of that?
For my car.
What did you think of that for a little break
Oh my
commercial?
God. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. You know, when I get these rowdy kids that want to rip stuff off my car, I'll be like, here, sniff this.
No, that's you already have that in your car. That's the handle you were talking about.
Oh yeah. Tyson,
yeah.
Oh man, that was good. That was good.
I'm glad you liked that one. All right, so I'm moving right along here. Some interesting news popped up in the COVID world. Have you heard about anything new coming in the COVID world?
I did hear something. Whoa. What are you alluding to?
So, there was a EU committee, the European Union committee, that requested Pfizer, like I guess the Pfizer board of directors and the CEO of Pfizer, to sit down to answer to some of the questions that they had for them. And what was revealed, well, a lot of people were, first off, they were pissed off because the CEO of Pfizer didn't even bother to show up.
Well, I could have told you that.
And one of the like I guess she was like a Danish or Netherlands official, some sort.
Okay.
And she was she was saying like, listen, if we can't even get the CEO of Pfizer to be here, then this committee is basically like,
worthless.
For what? Yeah, what are we doing here? She said it. She's like, we're basically incompetent. she said it flat out. She's like, we're basically incompetent, and I'm gonna take it that, you know, because I have power, you know, to shut this down. This is basically, you know, I'm gonna chalk this up to incompetence, and let's just end this now. Basically, is what she said. And they were like,
she's right. I mean.
But then, you know, Pfizer, guess what the Pfizer reaction was?
What?
Okay. Next question.
Oh, wow.
But I have a little report here. So let's see if they go into it here. Now this is from Fox News. So, you know,
take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. But this is not just any Fox News. It is Fox Detroit. So, but here I have a little thing here about that. Let's see here. Oh.
Plans to roll out the fall booster shots for COVID. Pfizer is trending this morning after Pfizer executive Janine Small admitted to the European Union Parliament that her company did not test the vaccine for preventing transmission of COVID, even as many in the public health sector, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, said a number of times that, quote, you become a dead end to the virus. Here's the exchange at the EU Parliament.
Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunization before it entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market. Mm-hmm. And from that point of view, we had to do everything at risk.
So obviously we know now that regardless whether or not you are vaccinated or not, you can still get and transmit the virus. Here's the thing for me, ladies, just tell us then, right? Just tell us, be honest. Not only Pfizer, but our public officials, be honest with us. To say that, you know, this shot will stop transmission, you will be a dead end to the virus, when you know it's not true because it hasn't been tested for that. It just leads, to me, to a mistrust of
Absolutely.
our institutions. And I think that's bad.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
I
So, what do you think of that?
I mean, the people that are like knee deep in believing everything you hear on the biased media, but me and you knew about that.
Yeah, of course.
We were our man Alex Jones was all over
Oh,
that.
of course. He knew that from the beginning. Therefore, we knew that
In
from
the
the beginning.
history of vaccines, there hasn't been a vaccine made faster than what they.
No, so I mean, they cut the clip pretty short, but it's a much longer clip, and some people actually listened to the full hearing. I've been trying to find it, but there was a whole bunch of people that had questions for Pfizer, a bunch of them, and they weren't answering really. They were just dodging questions. They weren't really answering a lot of.
They were evading.
And one of the guys, he was a doctor or whatever, and he's like, the question he had was like, did you guys know of coronavirus or COVID-19 before December 19th, 2020? Is that possible? Did you know about COVID-19 before 2020? And he's like, well, the reason I ask is because the world found out about COVID in January 1st, or I think he said January 5th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in January. He goes, the world found out about the COVID in January, but yet you miraculously have already started trials
on the vaccine
3 days later. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I know you're not going to answer my questions, but tell the world, how is it possible? No, it wasn't that the world knew about COVID. I think the world knew about COVID sometime in December. What came out in January was the genome of what COVID is. So he's like, if the genome came out in January, right?
How did you have?
That's when supposedly China released the information. How did you develop a vaccine to test?
So that means they had the genome already.
Right. I'm trying to find it. Let me see if I can if I do a quick search here, because he does it really good. Let's see. EU Parliament Committee on, this stuff is really hard to find because they try to make it really hard to find. So
yeah, we don't they don't allow that type of information readily on the internet.
Right.
At least I think so anyway. Yeah, I mean, we knew there was something fishy from the get-go with this whole COVID thing.
We did. So, I mean, this stuff is like not really news to us, but it is news to a lot of people out there. A lot of people don't really know.
A lot of people are knee deep in that matrix, and they believe.
Aha! Here,
okay.
I might have found something here. Hold on. Okay, so I found an article. This is from Times Now News. It says here, let me pull it up. I hope I have a video. It says, did Pfizer have access to coronavirus before China discovered it? Did Moderna test COVID vaccine in 2017? Romanian MEP makes shocking allegations. Romanian member, this guy, yeah, that's the guy that that was saying it. Member of European Parliament, Christian Terrors, who is also a human rights advocate, made some serious allegations during a hearing in a COVID committee on the EP on Pfizer, on the committee of the EP. I'm sorry, on October 10th. Thierry's has not just put Pfizer in the dock, but also Moderna, the second firm which has developed the mRNA COVID vaccine. So he's just not going after Pfizer, but Moderna as well. It says here, as we possibly near the end of COVID-19 pandemic, even in some parts of the world, the shocking allegations have been leveled by a European member of parliament with the regard of a discovery of the virus and concerning vaccines developed by the pharmaceutical majors Pfizer and Moderna. Romanian MEP Christian Teres, who is also a human rights advocate, made some serious allegations during a hearing in a committee of the European Parliament on October 10th. A representative of Pfizer was present in the hearing and held by the special COVID committee of the European Parliament after Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla refused to testify and answer questions posed by the committee. Bourla was expected to face grilling on how secretive vaccine deals were struck by his company. So that's why he didn't.
Okay, so I want you to Google coronavirus labs in Ukraine.
I believe we covered. Did we cover that?
We did cover that, but I'm trying to see how long was that lab there before the actual COVID came out.
Okay, so let me see here. All right.
Because, the reason I bring that up is because I think this is one of the things that Putin is alluding to. Because Putin is railing against the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like we say, you see with a third eye and listen with a third ear. And what I'm piecing up together, Putin is like alluding to the point that COVID is one of the vehicles that the New World Order, is using to introduce, the New World government. And he doesn't want to be a part of it.
Right. So, I mean, the way I like to think of the whole thing is that I like to, because there's some clues that they leave behind, the secret hand, right? And I think one of those clues happens to be in that Georgia Guidestone, which is one of the first tenets was, to keep humanity in balance with the world, you need to have it under 500 million population
reduction.
Right. So they're limited in how to achieve that, because they know if they go outright and try to mow us down, not only does it hurt them, but the people that remain are going to be so jaded that you're not going to have any allies with you, right?
Okay.
That's a lot of what the Roman Empire and all these big empires they face over the years. Every time they try to keep the population down with wars or whatever, somebody comes along and starts a revolution and then takes them out of the thing. So for a long time they've been kind of like taking another approach, and they've been, to me, in my view, it seems like it's been more of like a you don't know it's hurting you kind of approach. Like, for example, today was a great example, right? So I have WIC, right? Because I'm a new father. I have kids, and one of the things that WIC enforces us to get is 1% milk, right?
Okay.
1% milk is unhealthy because you need the fat to digest the milk. The fat is important. Taking out like all this fat-free, all this stuff that's fat-free is bad for you, is horrible for you, right? But that is the stuff
they market it
not only do they market it, but for people that are struggling, the people that needed new families, they don't give like whole milk. I cannot buy. It's not an option for me to buy. So they gave you benefit, but it's eat what we give you or nothing, right? And that's the thing. It's like what you're giving me is under the guise of being healthy, but yet
it's doing the actual
the opposite. And that's been going on for some time now. That's what in every I'm learning that's in every facet of life, like the technology, right? Like the phones. Here, it's all convenient, but yet it's actually doing the opposite. It's making us stupider. It's making us rely on it more. It's making us angrier at each other. It's dividing us, right?
Well, the way I look at, what you're talking about, it's like the disclaimer at the end of a drug commercial. This has the side effects of
right, exactly. But what the thing is, I'm looking at it again with the mentality that the invisible hand has a task, right? Their task is to keep whatever that was on the Georgia Guidestones. And for those that don't know, I'll pull up the tenets here, but that was written in all the languages of the world, including in hieroglyphics, so that everybody knew what the hell the objective was. And the first tenet is to keep us all in a balanced population. So my thinking is that they've tried different aspects in keeping the population down.
Do you know what year those tablets were erected, or do they
recent? It was in the 1980s. They were erected, and recently somebody effectively blew them up.
Because when I was growing up, and fortunately for me, I was growing up in the projects, Providence, Rhode Island, and their nutritious lunch that they used to give out was this processed bologna and processed cheese.
That's my point.
With a big dab of what they called mayonnaise. It wasn't Hellman's by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, what am I going to tell you? It's the government. They look at it as of, look, this is free. You take what we give you. And if you don't like it, then you go get whatever you want on your own.
Right. Well, the thing is like, if they were really there to help us, then they would give us the good stuff, right?
But they're not there to help us.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so the Georgia Guidestones, whoever erected it, I think it might be, well, I have the tinfoil hat, so I'm a little out there, but there's a invisible war going on between those UFOs that can turn off nuclear power plants and nuclear missiles and all that stuff on the instant, right? So that we have no way of fighting them because their technology is so far in advance, right?
Right.
So what a great fuck you to the powers that are trying to keep everything secret, to erect these stones to show what they're trying to do to humanity. So like there's like an unseen war going on, and now that the hand has the opening that they can take, right? They're like we got to get rid of these stones now before anybody else gets the message out. But before then, these aliens, they had so much grip that they had to leave them there, and it was like a thorn in their side, But apparently, throughout the time since it was erected in 1980, its whole life of it being there as a monument, people were throwing things at it. People were trying to deface it. People were trying to bring it down. And it's because of the things that it says. I mean, let's.
So your hypothesis is, or your theory
Mhm.
is that these stones were erected by extraterrestrials that know the agenda.
Right. Or either
But
they're
are they-
extraterrestrials or
are
maybe
they part of the agenda?
Or maybe they're the Nazis, you know, maybe they're the people that have these technologies. Whoever has these UFOs, right? They could be extraterrestrials, they could be aliens, or they could be Nazis for all we know, right? But I think whoever it is that the unseen hand is fighting, they're trying to take little jabs at them because you know some of this stuff gets made public, and then they're like, "Coño, like we got to get rid of this stuff because now it's getting out there, right?" I mean, who goes to the middle of nowhere in Georgia? Why put a monument there, you know? But I guess
And
that
how do they do it without anybody noticing? I mean, some big machinery had a
well, apparently the way they did it was they hired a contractor, right? But it was like they hired a middleman that went to hire these contractors. The middleman was a representative of a cabal of people, right? And he used a pseudonym to make the purchase.
Wasn't those stones erected on public property, or was that private property?
Let me see. Let me see what I can find here.
Because going back to the government and how
Mhm.
they, you know, for example, your whole WIC analogy,
Mhm.
it's the same thing with welfare.
Well, that's
You know,
another
they
thing.
make you dependent on the welfare.
Mhm.
Because if you really wanted to do something good for people and you want to get them, help them out of poverty,
Mhm.
the first thing that how would you get people out of poverty? How would you do it?
Well, I've heard of a lot of great theories. So my theory is based upon a lot of the people that I've heard before give a theory, but the one that to me makes sense is you find out on a one-on-one basis, right? What the individual is going through. Is it that you need a house? Is it you're homeless because you don't have anyone to live with? You don't have any family? Or there's some people just like, you know, they go homeless because they're afraid to talk to their parents or whatever, or they're afraid to, you know, whatever they're afraid of. So you got to find out what the reason first, right? Then, okay, if they got an addiction, you solve the addiction. Why do they have the addiction? Right? You gotta everybody's different. So the way you do it is through like a social worker of some sort, right? You appoint them to a person. They
Well,
unpack.
They actually do something like that, but the
But-
social worker, from my experience,
Mhm.
is there to subliminally tell you what to do to get that welfare check.
Well, here's the biggest difference. Here's where it will be different, right? I think what I would do and what's different from what's current is that what I would do is have companies and corporations pay for that social worker so that because that social worker is eventual job is to get that person a job so he can sustain his life on his own, right?
Well, that's now you're talking.
Because now because the incentive would be to make the better workers for your clients will be the companies, as opposed to the incentive which it currently stands is to keep the homeless because otherwise you don't have a job.
It's not only the homeless, you know, homeless is a big part of it, but you have a lot of families that just keep having babies to get a bigger check. I mean, it sounds messed up.
And the other thing you got to stop doing, we got to stop doing with this whole welfare thing is this whole that you gotta you gotta earn dirt nothing. You can't like there's people that earn $40,000 a year. That ain't supplying anything to like $40,000 a year for one person for a family is nothing. That's peanuts, right? But you don't qualify for welfare because you need to have $25,000 earn the maximum $25,000, for example. So at that point, people just don't work, right? They stop working because what's the point? I don't get any of the benefit if I work.
Yeah, so
it's counterintuitive. It incentivizes the wrong things, and then what it should be is that if you make less than 100,000, right, then the welfare kicks in and gets you flush, so that you can, if you don't make 100 with the welfare, if it doesn't come up to 100,000, at least you can have enough like food in your fridge and all these things that us as human beings we need: shelter, food, water, and all these things.
Well, theoretically,
if they can take, if you make less than $100,000 and they take that aspect off of the table, then we will have a much happier and less homeless or welfare driven society, because people are working and they're using that money to benefit themselves, as opposed to, oh well, if I try to go up at all in the system, they're just gonna knock me out. And if they knock me out, then I can't afford anything, because if I make the 40 grand, right, and I don't make and now I can't afford the welfare, or the welfare is I make more than what the threshold for welfare. Now that part is out of the equation. Now I can't afford anything. Now, if I had the 40 grand with the welfare, then together I might be able to do something, but
because it's all linked. Like if you're on welfare, then you're on subsidized housing,
right? And they complain that
food stamps,
that people try to skirt the system, but the reason they try to skirt the system is because they don't have a choice. I mean, some of these people don't have money to put food on their table, and they can't even claim for welfare.
Okay, but what you're saying is accurate, but here's the glitch. They want this. They're not trying to solve poverty.
No.
They're not trying to make your life better.
Absolutely
what
not.
they're doing is, for lack of a better word, enslaving you into a system where you're going to be perpetually dependent on the government, and that's the way they like it. For example, back in the day, when there was a king and a monarchy, right?
That's where you got your food, right?
One of the common things that the king would do is, on a particular day, he'll get a wagon loads of bread and just hand out bread.
Right.
Man, the public was happy, and the king was happy, because you keep the paupers, depending on your bread, and they're going to stay at that economic level
because they're going to be depending on you.
So, but if you start propping them up, like, no, we're not going to just give you bread. We're going to educate you. We're going to give you a job and give you a title, and I'm giving you all these things. The king says to himself, I'm making a monster that eventually will come after me.
Right.
So, it's break time.
So, did you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, well, just quickly. So, yeah, I mean, it's not in the powers that be to follow a plan that works. 'Cause to me, a plan that would work is you get all, these $4 billion companies, right? And you tell them, look, these people don't have enough money to get a college education. Let's train these people to work in your corporations by way of like a fast track on the job training. You're gonna get the benefit of a particular worker that is trained especially to what your company does, and give them good pay. You benefit. The happier worker, the more you produce, the more money you make, so on and so forth. Right?
Right.
That will be the proper thing. And you're helping out the people at the bottom who cannot go to college, and you give them a specialty. You want to work for Google and you don't know about coding or whatever it is that Google does. Google has
them. You work to find them a program that helps them get to that.
Yeah, but then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a horde of money making people, who now is not dependent on the government. And eventually what they're gonna say is, screw you, the government. I don't need you.
Right.
I got my own steam. And the government doesn't want that.
Right. They want you to be
Dependent.
dependent on them for everything.
And, I mean, it's like what I just said doesn't make sense. Why would the government won't want you to? Because then what happens is, you break the caste system. Now if you're born in the projects, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And your parents break out of that mold and become entrepreneurs, they become successful, then now that kid is going to more or less follow in the parents' footsteps, and they're going to progress on, and eventually we won't have a need for projects.
Right.
We won't even have a hood anymore.
But that's not what they want.
That's not what they want.
And what's interesting here, and what some of the things that Joe Rogan pointed out was, which I'll put this on screen so everyone can see here. The National Alliance to End Homelessness calculated that in 2021, the U.S. federal government enacted over $51 billion in funding for selected homelessness and housing programs. This, of course, does not include city, county, or private dollars invested in homelessness. So just in what the U.S. government invested alone is $51 billion.
And where's that money going?
To the salaries of these people. That's the thing. There's people here that make, that are tasked to
help the homeless.
And they're making 200 grand a year, 250 grand a year. And they want to continue making that money.
Okay, but how many billions?
$51 billion. And that's not including, city funding, because the city does its own funding, the county does its own funding, and then people that are philanthropists also invest into homelessness as well. So that doesn't even include that as well.
So let's break this down. How many thousands make a billion?
How many thousands make a billion?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Google. We even got a fucking Google.
Well, calculator. By 1,000. Billion divided by 1,000 is, let's see, 1 million. So that means you can give 1 million people $1,000.
Makes $1 billion.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is where I'm getting at with this. 50 billion, right?
Mhm.
And that's not counting other sources that get money for this
Right.
homeless problem, right? You could have a staff.
That's what 5 million people. 5 million people you can give $1,000 to, just on the 51 billion alone.
5 million.
5 million.
So in a place now, this 50 billion, is it for the United States as a whole?
Yes, for the United States. But I'm going to see how much homeless people are in the United States. Let's just see. Okay. So they estimate that there is 552,000 people that are homeless, right? So if you calculate 51 billion,
see, but you're going
divide that by 552,000
you're going the route
people.
of helping the homeless. That's not where I'm going with this.
Well, just check this out. If they were to just cleanly, this is just the federal government, right? If they were to just disperse that $51 billion to all the homeless people that are in the United States, which is 530,000, that equals to $90,000 per homeless person. Per homeless person.
Fuck, I wouldn't mind 90. But this is where I'm going at with this. I'm not going about helping the homeless. I'm going about giving the execs that are in charge of this person this money, who you say are making like 200 grand a year. 50 billion, right? You can give the 200 grand. Fuck, you can give 300 grand to a staff. Let's say, how many people you would think that are caking off this program?
Well, this whole industries, I would guess.
And how many people you would think that is?
I don't know. Well, I would say, let's say a normal size what's it called, enterprise level business is about 1,000 employees or something
Okay.
like that. So let's say it's about that much.
1,000 times 200,000 is what, 400? No.
Let's see.
I'm bad at maths.
So that would be $2 billion.
$2 billion?
Mm-hmm.
So you still got 48 billion to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
So give these executives their $200,000. Fuck. Give them 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's still money left over. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck is the rest of that money going?
Well,
because every homeless shelter that I have seen, it's
been
a fucking it's
dump.
It's a dump.
But here's the thing. It's a thing that we've uncovered about what one of your passengers from what you do from Uber had revealed to you is that a lot of the goals of these companies is to operate at a loss.
Right.
So they spend that money, they might get, 200,000 or whatever, but they must have some kind of expensive count. They must have some kind of whatever, just so that next year
but
they get that's for the year. That's for the year of 2021. We spent $51 billion for the year. So that means we could be giving all the homeless people 100 grand a year, and that is not even including the philanthropy. That's not even including
all the external
funding.
injection that these. But that's what I'm saying. You go to a homeless shelter. I mean, it's sad. It stinks to high heaven.
Yeah,
it's a fucking dump. Their sleeping arrangement, the what they sleep on. I mean, you know how many times I've heard that bed bugs and all kinds of diseases,
can't even
and
imagine.
they pack. Where the fuck is that money going? By just with the 50 billion alone, these guys should have pristine quarters. And I know there's a lot of mental illness, that's contributing to the homeless population, because we kind of like dissolved how did this guy Scarface, what was his name? Scarface.
What about him?
Well, what was
Tony Montana?
Tony Montana. He would say a sanitarium.
Right.
Those things are like non-existent anymore. These places that would house the mentally ill. But of course, we found out that the staff was taking advantage,
Of course,
of the mentally ill.
So instead of fixing that problem, they just let the loonies out.
They released them onto the populace, and now they're roaming the streets. So that is mental illness, addiction, and poverty. But 50 billion, I could run you. I mean, I might be putting my head at the slab, but I could run you a hell of a bitching shelter with $1 million a year.
I'm sure you can.
With $1 million a year, I have. Oh my God! I mean, how many are us right now in the house? Well, 6 of us, and we're running this household on a string,
right?
We have clean accommodations. We get food every day. And we're nowhere near
$1 million a year.
$1 million. We're nowhere near 100 grand.
Right. So imagine.
We're clean every day. We look presentable. We eat good.
Right. We contribute to society.
And that's under $100,000, way under.
Right.
So imagine a budget of $1 million, and like that 50 billion. You could do it by sectors. You get 2 million, you get 2 million, you get 2 million. And you separate it, and
right.
Each facility, let's say there's a maximum of 100 people, 200 people, right? But don't make it a facility where every day you boot these guys out, and then you get a whole lot of newbies coming in, like first come, first serve. No, you make them a resident.
And it's like,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just sucking on my ass because I don't know.
In my opinion, if you were to just take the infrastructure we already have with the food stamps, with the EBT cash, and with the WIC program that we have and all that. All we need to do is make it a 2.0, right? We take that, was it 500? Let's say it's 500,000, 550,000 people that are homeless, right? We give them each 100,000 a year. But the way we do it is the way they tell me, oh, you can't buy whole milk. Your car don't work for whole milk. It only works for 1% milk. That's it. If you don't want to get whole 1% milk, then you're not going to get anything, right? So the card only works for your rent. The card only works for the things that you need. That 90,000, it's for the things that you need. It's not for you to go buy drugs. It's not for you to go do this. It only works for what it's supposed to be there for. Why the taxpayers are paying this, that's the reason why it's there for.
But that us human beings are very crafty.
Yeah, we're very crafty, for sure.
We'll be like, yo, you got them fentanyl pills. I got fucking.
Oh yeah.
I got this.
I got money I can get you food and whatever. I mean, even with the EBT, you're not the food stamps. You're not supposed to be getting hot food with it. But
which is stupid. Which is stupid.
Because I'm telling
these kids a hot meal, for Christ's sake.
But that's the thing. It's not about that's what I'm saying with this whole Georgia Guidestone. It's not about. You have to think about the unseen hand here. The unseen hand has a problem. They're looking at us like vermin on the planet, like pests. And they got a problem. It's like imagine you're an exterminator, right? You got 6 billion cockroaches. But if you go out and you take the spray and you start spraying the cockroaches, they get mad and they start killing you. Like they have this poison and they're gonna fucking kill you. You can't just go out and get them pissed off like that. It's not gonna work. So you gotta be clever. You gotta make them believe that what they're doing is for the benefit of themselves.
Okay, so that kind of reminds
me.
So
what you do for what you did for the mosquitoes, right? You put them that little donut in the bucket, and they're thinking, "Ooh, this is a nice place to hang out. It's a good bucket that you."
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say.
And you make it seem great. Gornia, this is a great fucking bath.
What does that remind you of?
The
island.
Oh yeah, exactly. The island.
Oh, you're chosen.
Yep.
Oh my God, I get to. You get where is it that you're going to? Are you getting in a rocket ship going somewhere in the island?
No, that's what it was. You were getting sent to the island of paradise.
Right, but how you were getting there? By way?
They never explained. I think a boat, maybe some boat, but they never really.
I forget the movie, but all I know is like they were fucking happy. Holy shit, I got chosen. Little did they know.
Right. Being chosen was
you're gonna incinerate.
Yeah, they're gonna get you for your body parts because you're just a clone.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
That component.
You're just a clone.
Yeah, you're just
You're just
living farm.
Yeah, exactly. You're just meat.
Yeah, I forgot all about. Yes. So this is what in a perfect world, what they would do is like I'm watching this new series on Peacock where these sinkholes are like appearing and people fall through them and like now they're like in 10,000 BC.
Oh
it's
my
a ridiculous premise, right? But like the bucket I make for the mosquitoes, right? You tell everybody, oh my God, you jump in there. Oh man, you don't got to worry about bills, and people start diving in there. I mean,
and you get trapped. I mean that's the age old thing. I mean, we do that to the most simplest of living creatures on the planet. We do that to mice. Put a little piece of cheese, and just to get you, and boom, we caught you. And that's how it is. It's never the
See, now you're going down the Jordan Maxwell, because what is one of the things the government loves to give out?
cheese. Exactly. And you know what? That is the most unhealthiest cheese is the government cheese. And that's the point. That's what I'm saying. The unseen hand has a problem. Oh my God. I got 8 billion fucking cockroaches on this planet. And if God forbid,
how to exterminate them without knowing they're being exterminated.
right. And if you go out and try to exterminate them, like trying to stomp on them, fucking cockroach, I'm gonna kill you all. No, dude, they're gonna fucking retaliate. And don't forget, cockroaches fly, so they're gonna go on you. They're gonna, dude, this is a battle 8 billion to 1. It's not gonna go in your favor, so they gotta be crafty about it. We're more intelligent than a cockroach, but they see us like a cockroach, and that's the problem.
But you know what? They're doing it. How? By making unhealthy food affordable.
That's what I'm saying. So they make the food unhealthy, right? They make the water that we drink, they fill it with fluoride that gives you cancer. Then on top of that, all the water, I have a problem reconciling something in my mind, and it's all the water that we drink comes either from or through a plastic container. And
right.
So that means no matter which way we try to get our water, somehow or another,
plastic is involved.
Plastic is involved. And now more than ever, because I was realizing, because my brother-in-law, he's a contractor, and one of the things that he swears by this new version of plumbing, which is these PEX piping, which is plastic. Right? Which, I don't know what's better, metal or plastic or all these other stuff, but what the plastic is revealing is that, it does affect our endocrine system. If it affects our body, it gets absorbed in our body. A report came out that said that we ingest about a credit card's worth of plastic a week.
That's crazy.
A credit card's worth of plastic a week. So it's like, if it was really about our well-being, then it would be one thing, but it's not. It's not about our well-being. The food that we eat is all meant to look good. Everything is meant to look good.
We just hit on a brand new hit show, a dystopian brand new hit show.
Right.
These evil corporations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really evil, hell bent on exterminating these roaches on the planet that are us, the human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a task ahead of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, how many people they got to exterminate?
Well, there's 8 billion people. I think there's 8 billion people on Earth now?
And the tablet said we only should sustain how many?
500 million.
500 million, right? So this is the premise of our new show. This is it's a breaking out here on the Pyramid Podcast. But this new show, right? These evil companies are making smaller little companies like 7-Eleven and Chipotle and all these, right?
Right.
That's what we can afford. Because sometimes I'm on the road, like 8, that I do Uber, and I'm like on the road for 8-10 hours a day, and I get hungry. Sometimes I'd be like, damn, I would love like a nice hot meal that I can afford, so it could be profitable for me to get a meal, right? At the same time, not hit my bottom line, because I'm trying to hit a number,
right,
to make this Uber thing
profitable.
Right. You relegate it
to 7-Eleven.
To 7-Eleven, or here where I'm at, which is Cumberland.
Yeah.
And you end up either eating a sausage, 2 for 2 sausages, taquitos, which taquitos have zero nutritional value.
None of the stuff there is nutritional.
You feel bad. The minute you pop a taquito in your mouth, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And you're
Right.
still chewing like a fucking zombie. You know, because at
then you
this
get the
point,
heartburn and you're like, why did I do that?
at this point, you just plug in a hole.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that I can continue driving.
But but do you see how the unseen hand, the way the show would lay out? Do you see how they do it though? It's so ingenious how they do it.
Oh, they're crafty.
What do you let's see if we're on the same page. How do you think that the way the unseen hand gets from being up there in the
on Mount Olympus?
Yeah. And how do they affect your taquito in 7-Eleven? How do they get from there to you? What's their way of doing it?
You got me there. Like,
Oh, okay. So it's so ingenious. It's through the market. It's through the stock market. What they do is so simple. It's called venture capitalism, right?
I see where you're headed with this.
Right? You're a smart noodle. You're a great guy. You come up with a great business plan. You know, all these stores, they close early, but there's people that need food late at night.
Like me.
Let me create a store, 7-Eleven. And you know what? We're from Texas. Let's have a little Texas flair. Let's throw some taquitos. And you know what? They're damn good too. They're great taquitos. But here comes a guy that goes, "It's a good business. I'll pay you a couple $1 million for this business." And they go, "Shit, $2 million sounds great." They take the money, and all of a sudden, this great taquito becomes this. What is this? This is not what I wanted.
Yeah, they'll be like, here's a massive amount of money. We're gonna do something. We call it franchising.
Right.
Franchising.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
And those great, delicious flutes that you call taquitos, you know, we're gonna sell those.
And we're gonna run 7-Eleven as its own business. Right? It's its own separate thing. But really, the shareholders, where the profit goes to whatever corp, right? I don't know the structure of 7-Eleven, but it goes to another corporation that goes to another corporation that eventually funnels back to either BlackRock or Vanguard.
Exactly.
And then when you find out, oh, you don't get to know who owns these companies, then you go, oh, there's the entrance to the shadowy door of
No, and get this, right? Like, check this out. They can say, okay, you're McDonald's, right? I forget where McDonald's started from, but eventually they get franchised, right? And they're like, we'll make this company where it makes these great burgers. We'll distribute them all throughout the world, right? And we'll keep the burgers delicious, and we'll add.
You're right.
We'll add this addictive quality.
No,
to it.
they go. There's a board meeting. They go, this is really good. Now, how could we make this right? That costs $6 to make this. How can we make that cost 25 cents? And they go, there's no way. We'll find a way.
Well, no, and also, you know, they're gonna pay.
Oh,
no, that was Darth Vader. Check this out. We gotta convince these people to pay $10 for a meal, a substandard meal.
$10 for
that's
garbage.
crap. It's garbage. They're gonna pay $10 for it.
And they're gonna crave it too. We're gonna make sure that we pump that
Yes. And they're gonna want it. And the minute that they pop this shit into their mouth, they want just another one.
in. Right.
Another one.
You
And
know,
no matter how much they eat of it, they don't have enough of it.
right. There was a bit that Louis C.K. he said, and it was so true. He goes, you know, I never realized that food is supposed to feel good.
It's supposed to give you nutrition and make you feel good.
You're right. This is how we live, for Christ's sake. It's supposed to make you feel good instead of making you feel like, oh, what the hell did I eat?
But here comes the evil in these companies, right? So not only are they evil, making you pay $10 for a substandard, no nutritional meal,
Mhm.
right? They put an addictive quality to it so that you'll never have enough of it.
Mhm.
You just want more and more. And the more you eat, the more unhealthy you become. And it's visually, you see it.
Right.
You know, obesity and all this stuff,
Mhm.
diabetes and all this stuff. So not only do they do that through one company like McDonald's,
Mhm.
right? But then they say, you know what? Let's make another one compete with that one. We own both of them, but we make it as if they're competing against each other.
No, that you see what they do is it's even more ingenious than that. What they do is we the people, we go, that burger sucks. I'm gonna make a better burger. Fuck this burger. I'm gonna make a better burger. I'm gonna make a burger that's really delicious. Take like Shake Shack, right? I'm gonna make a real fucking good burger. And people go line up for this burger. But then they go, oh yeah, you see, we got a good business here. I'll give you a couple $1 million. Well, I had a shack and now you're offering me a couple $1 million. Shit, for this? Okay. And then they go, then they begin. Then they go, okay. Now they have the formula of how they made this burger good. And they go, okay, now see that burger? Take that burger and make it for me for 25 cents. And then they got the obvious, oh, but this is fresh. And I don't care. Do it. Do it. I like that's what Coca-Cola does to Monsanto, right?
Right.
They go, I don't care how it's diet. Just make the damn soda taste good and be 0 calories. I wanted to taste exactly, and I mean exactly the same as the sugar. They're like, yo, this is not possible. Do it.
But what
and then that's how they, and then the competition is they have these people, right? They bought them out, and then these people are trying to, now they're like, okay, how do we satisfy these people? And they go, I want my share. I want my share. I want my share. Make it. You better make it. I want my share. And they keep trying to scramble, but they're not coming up with the competition part. They're just watching these people come up with the solution to their problem. And they're just like,
but yet everything is owned by one person.
Everything is owned. And the result is that everything appears to be like separate companies, because they are separate people that are trying to make, Shake Shack better than McDonald's, or this Five Guys better than Shake Shack. There are people that are trying to do that. But when you're already bought out by the unseen hand, there's nothing you
that's
can
what
do.
I mean. Like, yes, you have Joe Schmoes like myself that be like, I just paid $10 for garbage. I could have just thrown these $10 in the garbage and be better for it,
right?
Than ingesting this garbage that I just did, right?
Right.
But now, well, you create, here I come and I say I'm gonna make a better burger more affordable.
Mm-hmm.
The powers that be, the minute it's like a signature, like the way Star Trek, the minute they break the sound barrier,
Mhm.
okay, he's ready for the next what do they call it? Not generation, they call it there's 1, 2, and 3. What do they call that?
No, I'm not.
That in type A, type B society there.
Oh, okay. The type 1, type 2.
Right. Oh, they're ready for type 2 because
Uh-huh.
they have the signature.
Right.
Well, the same thing goes with a business. I make enough fucking delicious burgers at $7 a pop, and now I'm making money.
Right.
People are saying, "Yo, fuck McDonald's. Yo, Anesto's is making these banging fucking burgers." The minute that they get that signature, I guess by way of the IRS or somehow.
Yeah, they get what they do is it's so simple. It's comical. Is because you out of your genuine wanting to make a better burger, right? You go out, you do it, you make the better burger, and they go now. They're starting to see, their profits are dwindling because they're going to buy the better burger. So instead of competing, right? Instead of them trying to make McDonald's a better brand so that it can compete to that burger, and instead goes buys you out, right? Then makes themselves your boss. And it's time for our next break. But let me finish my thought. They make themselves your boss, right? And then you, out of your genuine want to make your better burger than McDonald's, are gonna still strive to do that under the constraints of what they want from you. And at the end of the day, whether as hard as you try, they still earn from both restaurants, no matter what you do. Unless you're
And that's how you end up with a piece of leather between two buns.
Exactly. And with that, it's time for our next break. And I have some things that I would like to go over this break. So this break, I wanted to go over one of the things that we want to bring into this new segment that we want to bring into the cast, which is the Nostradamus quatrains.
Oh, the Nostradamus effect, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, so if those of you are just tuning in, Nostradamus has a bunch of quatrains. They're
Quatrains,
predictions, and we have a generator here that's just gonna pull one of them out so that we can read it to you. So let's go on to the Nostradamus quatrain. So let's see here. It says, very near the Tiber death threatens, made asylum for the corrupt ones and dreamers. The new land will be the height of its power. Hunger, fire, blood, plague, all evils doubled.
What is he referring to?
Not sure.
Okay, let it again. Keep the music playing. Read that again.
Very near the Tiber death threatens, made asylum for corrupt ones and dreamers. The new land will be the height of its power. Hunger, fire, blood, plague, all evils doubled.
Fuck, that's New York.
I don't know what that means, but
Okay, so the very near death threatens, right?
what are the odds that that this episode we bring up the New York PSA?
Well, that's where I'm headed at. Like the very near death threatens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Made in asylums for corrupt
ones and dreamers. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for those that are tuning in. Let me see here.
There we go, right there, perfect. So the very near the Tiber death threatens. Now, the Tiber, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be like?
Let's see. What does that mean, Tiber?
When I hear Tiber, I think of water, rivers, like the Tiber River.
Tiber in Rome. Let's see what this means. So I'm looking this up here.
What does it say for Tiber? Does it have anything to do with water?
So let me see here. Interesting. I put this up and it's saying that Nostradamus was predicting the coronavirus outbreak, but let me just see here.
Wow.
Let's see. I'm just going to type in Tiber death. What does this mean? It says here, body of 21-year-old American found in Tiber, in the Tiber in Rome, the Tiber River. Okay, so yeah, it is.
Okay, so there's me dissecting Nostradamus.
Mm-hmm.
The very near the Tiber death threat. So I'm seeing floods everywhere
that made asylum for corrupt ones and dreamers.
So imagine New York being.
So wait, very near the Tiber death. So a river of death threatens. That made an asylum for corrupt ones, the politicians and the dreamers, right? The new land will be the height of its power.
New York,
the new land, will be the height of its power. That's interesting.
Hunger, fire, blood, plague, all evils doubled. That's the United States.
I think so, yeah. The United States, the new land, we will be at the height of our power.
Which is, I would believe we're at the height of our power right now.
And
I think we're plateauing at this point.
Hunger, fire, blood, plague, all evils.
The
hunger. Oh my God. The hunger. We're having food shortages.
That's
fires in California. Blood.
The crime,
the blood that's being shed by all these people, the shooters, the mass shooters,
yes,
plague, the coronavirus, all evils doubled. Oh my God,
we're living through those times, right? Wow, this Nostradamus thing really works, huh?
Unbelievable, huh? So, what do you think of this segment?
Oh, this got to be a staple.
Oh man, this is a good one. And with that, we are back to our normal programming. Welcome to the Pyramid Podcast with Anesto
Pablo Morado,
the double-headed coin and thunderbolt. So
This break was sponsored by the PyramidShop.com, where you can get your Pyramid vitamins, your fungi coffee.
yes, actually, let's go over to the pyramidshop.com where you can get all the things that you need. So let's go over real quick for our audience. And if you go to the pyramidshop.com on days that we go live, you can see here that the video will be popping up shortly. So our live stream will be right here on our website. And here we go. You can donate right here using our little donate button, and brings you right to our donate section. And then we have, here you go, the supplements. So the pyramidshop.com is now bringing to you the Paramin supplements. Paramin is the idea. It was a spin-off of our Pyramid podcast.
Absolutely.
And there are things that we need for the podcast just to be doing what we do. The brain boost, the bone and health support, the multivitamins, all these things to keep our bodies running optimal. And then we have the fungi coffee, the thing that we drink before every podcast to make sure our minds are sharp. And we have our gear right here. You know, we have the dad hat, the distressed dad hat. We have the Pyramid Creepster hoodie with our Pyramid podcast logo on back. And we have here, I don't know if you saw this one, but we have here this wonderful graphic shirt of our slogan.
I love it.
If the universe is infinite, then so are the possibilities.
Our motto.
So we have that here with the little pyramid logo right here, acting as a UFO with the tractor beam. And we have it in steel blue, light blue, heather dust, and white.
Oh, I like the white one. And again, it really has a pop to it.
And we have them in sizes from small to tarp size, you know, planet sizes, you know, if you're a planet.
No, planetoid.
Planetoid. Yes. I like to be referred to as a dwarf planet, please.
I am a planetoid, and I would like to be referred as such.
I'm actually a ball of ice. Get it straight, please.
Get straight. Get woke.
I like to identify as a block of ice, please.
Yes. You're a block of ice, and I'm a planetoid. Go, girl.
And I think Saturn should disperse its rings. I don't think it's fair that Saturn has all the rings in the universe.
Yes. I would like some rings of my own. And at least one satellite. I mean,
please. Why does Earth have to have all the satellites? Oh man. But yes, go to thepyramidshop.com. With every purchase, whether it be a t-shirt, a donation, a supplement, or a coffee, every purchase supports the cast. And if you get any value from this cast,
and let me tell you, the hoodie is my favorite item on this on the swag. That hoodie looked good.
Yeah, it's a good hoodie. It's got solid grommets and great. I actually have another sample of this hoodie here, and it's great. It's a good hoodie. At this company that we use to make this hoodie, it's very good, very reliable, easy shipping here, and it's $59.99. For those that you know, for those out there, we're transparent. It costs us $45 to make this shirt, to make the sweater. It's $59.99. It gives us a couple bucks just to keep the lights on over here.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to make money off of you guys. We're not trying to squeeze you dry. We're just trying to make a little cash here so that we can, again, keep the lights on, keep the site up, keep the stream going.
And you donate by way of this purchase, and you get a good product. and it keeps our lights going. You know what I mean?
Right. So, you, instead of having a product that, you have no attachment to, at least you know that if you're wearing the sweater, you are keeping us, afloat.
And for our TikTokers, if you want to donate, we're at the pyramidshop.com. That's TheParamid shop.com. You hit the donate button, or make your life a little better. Get some Pyramid supplements.
Right.
Make your mornings better by getting some of the mushroom infused coffee. And hey, we all got chores on the weekend. You don't want to be wearing a bulky jacket while you're raking leaves, right?
Right.
You put on a hoodie and you get your task done.
Right.
And you're helping us continue with this podcast.
Right. And you signal to all the people out there, the pea head guandolitos out there, that you know what? I'm not woke. I've been awakened. I'm a free thinker. I'm a agent, of my own life. I'm a creator.
I'm a verdugo.
I'm a verdugo, exactly.
No more am I, laying around in the trenches with the Huelepoos.
Exactly.
The pus smellers.
The pus smellers. That's one thing I from that Gaia ET's Among Us show, that I didn't know that aliens had a funk that
they're funky.
Aliens, you don't want to be in the same room with
funky.
them. That they stink.
I mean, we're not used to that smell.
Right.
They're coming from like a very stinky planet.
Yeah.
I mean, we have homogenized this planet ourselves. We were pretty stinky ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you would run up against a caveman, woo. There's some people out here that I'd hear that, they say, I want to go back to my roots.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave those roots all over my car. I'd be like, damn, dude, you're going back.
That'll be the next. That'll be the next thing that we come up with, a deodorizer.
Yeah, a derooterizer.
Yeah, get that root off of you.
And pretty soon, by way of the Cigar Head Studios, we're gonna have scented oils, something that you could put on after a shower, something masculine for guys.
Yes,
masculine, because we're something, put some hair on your chest. Smelling of woods and cedar and musky, something you could put on and be like, damn, that was a man that just passed me by. We're gonna make some for the girls too, but that I'm gonna leave up to my wife to come up with, because I don't know how to make anything feminine. But I want to make some really, we call it in Spanish varonil.
Varonil.
Yeah, something really masculine.
I like that. All right.
So we're working on it.
So now we have entered the fourth segment of the cast, and being that it's the fourth segment, you know what that means. It is time for
straight ahead in between the two. There it is again. Watch straight ahead off my flashlight there. So there it is. Yeah, I see it too.
the UFO segment.
Yes.
Okay, very positive reads. Here, straight ahead in between the two. There it is again. Watch straight ahead off my flashlight here. So there it is. Yeah, I see it too.
So have you
what's
heard
new in the UFO world?
Have you heard of the alien that got filmed in La Junta, California?
You know, I was hearing about that on Coast to Coast the other day.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was listening to it. They have this guy who at the beginning of every show. I think he's the head of MUFON.
Oh, okay.
He was talking about this this alien that they I believe they videotaped him. Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, I believe there's a videotape.
So what exactly do I search to find this?
I would suggest alien caught on video, California.
Let's see. Most extraordinary footage of all I have here. Oh, it's from September. Let's see this.
Yeah, I believe I heard it on Coast to Coast.
I'm not sure if this is the same thing here, but let me see.
I was driving, so I wasn't able to give my undivided attention to it, but I did hear something about footage coming out of California.
Let me see. I think it's the I think the footage here is the famous Tic Tac one. This looks like an ancient alien story, but I'll pull this up for the audience. Yep, this is definitely ancient aliens. This is a history channel that I found, but I don't think this is what you were talking about. But
No, this was actually like in a crowd. From what I've heard, they had some gathering, and some random guy had like I guess his cell phone on, and he was panning. And
was this recent? Do you know?
I believe this was like late September. I'll tell you right now. Let me see.
Well, the one I have is I have one in La Junta. Maybe we'll see if this is the same one.
Let's see what La Junta. Where's La Junta? In California?
I believe so. Yeah,
that might be it.
So let's see here.
That's on the Trello.
That's right here on the Trello. Yeah. So.
Oh yes, this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
All right, hold on.
This was on the website on Coast to Coast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is it.
So then this one is pretty gnarly. But 1 second here, and just make sure. Right, make sure everything. Some technical difficulties when you're monitoring too many things at once here. Here we go.
Take a look at this viral video from La Junta in southeastern Colorado.
Oh, it's Colorado.
All right, Vivian Gomez wrote on Facebook that her security camera captured this on Sunday morning. There are people on Facebook who say it looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, or a ghost or an alien, or a kid in flip-flops and underwear. We think it looks like Lisa doing her Sunday morning dance. I don't know. Lisa, were you in La Junta on Sunday?
I know she was out of town.
Give it away. The video has been seen by 11 million people.
That's going to be the new dance craze.
Now you put the kid in my head. Now I see a kid.
You see a kid there?
Yeah, like with her long hair. It's like, it looks like it's a girl.
And take a look at this viral video.
Let's see. We can we have some. Let's see. Playback speed. We have a way
from La Junta.
Let's see.
See her hair, like she has her hair like.
But look at the way it's moving. Does that look like flip flops? Does that look like normal limbs?
It's funny what lighting can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, and what's interesting is how, like, they don't show what happened
right
after.
Right there. If you pause it, boom, right there. It looks like an alien looking eastward. That's a strange video. It's funny where these surveillance now with the ring and all that stuff that you catch on camera.
It's amazing, And I suspect I'm shocked that there's not more.
Well, did you see the one? Didn't we play one like one in New York?
New York.
Yeah, like in a crowd of people, you see like an alien just walking by in New York.
I don't recall.
You see, I'll tell you right now. Being caught in a bedroom, a camera catches a strange human figure picking into a bedroom to proof out their clip. This is on YouTube. Oh, that's pretty creepy. I don't know if you want to, search for that on your side.
What is it called?
You go on YouTube. It says alien caught entering a bedroom.
Okay, on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh well, I see on YouTube they have top 10 aliens were caught on camera. And this is as of May 16, 2022. You'll be amazed on the things that these surveillance cameras catch.
Said alien caught in bedroom?
Yeah.
Entering a bedroom. There's also History Channel. Proof is out there. Oh yeah, top 10 aliens caught in camera. Yeah, this looks like, I don't know, looks some of it's stuff like Watch Mojo and History Channel. I don't know how much I put merit into some of this
No,
stuff.
I don't put much matter in it. I mean, I put a
But being that we are in the UFO segment, and we are talking about some of the unseen hand and some of the things that we hear about in the conspiracy world, is that reptilian kind of people live amongst us. And the theory is that reptilians tend to live or tend to be in places of power, and they're in a lot of like politics and all these things, that's how they place themselves, these reptilian shapeshifters. And one of the people that they accuse of being a reptilian shapeshifter is none other than the CEO of Pfizer. And what's interesting is that he has, I have this video here. If you look at this video,
logistics around,
he has a little bit of I don't know. He has something that's a little abnormal, and people have made a connection that it's a very reptilian, almost frog like reaction that this guy has, and some kind of neck spasm that he has. But check out this
I haven't
thing.
seen that. Let me see what this is.
Check this out. So this is the CEO of Pfizer, all right? His name is well, we just went over it, is something Borlo, Adam or something like that.
Okay.
Albert Borlo. And so check out this spasm.
We are making this dream reality.
Many of your medicines, we know from
You
the
saw
COVID
it?
vaccine, very effective.
Are you seeing it?
Very welcome. The logistics
With this announcement, we are
It's
making
right
this
here
dream reality.
underneath his neck.
I see it. I
Many
see
of
it.
your
It looks like a
medicines,
fucking
we know
lizard.
from the COVID vaccine, very effective, very welcome. The logistics around that vaccine were not straightforward because of the new technology.
He looks like
many of your
geckos.
medicines, we
Yeah,
know from the COVID
and he's making noises. If you hear him.
vaccine, very effective, very welcome. The logistics around that.
And now I think with this announcement, we are making this dream reality.
So I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What do you make of this? Look at this fucking Look at his neck. I mean, who does that? I mean, whose neck do you see?
How do you do that?
Many of your medicines,
Look at that.
you know, from the COVID vaccine, very effective. No, from the COVID vaccine, very effective, very welcome. The logistics around.
It seems to me like it's a person that's just trying to maintain his form as a person, and he's just losing control or something as a shapeshifter.
No, I think that, you know, going back to this whole reptilian scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen lizards like when I was in Florida in Tampa,
Uh-huh.
you know, I was in the pool and I was, you know, being amazed how these, you know, these little geckos, and they're like chilling and they're breathing. You see the sack under there, you know, like blowing up, like boom.
Mm-hmm. Just like the way this guy's neck
just
looks.
like- so
it's
yeah,
wild. It's wild. You know,
that's
seeing that.
nuts.
Yeah. So I don't know, but the CEO of Pfizer and the theory of the reptilians is that they put themselves in places of power. And what more powerful position than to be the CEO of Pfizer, especially these days. So I don't know. I mean, true or false, I don't know, but that's wild, isn't it?
that video is a little too you know, it correlates well with the whole reptilian nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, I've never seen anybody with like kind of spasm on their neck, and even you were trying to recreate that.
Yeah, like, how do you do that?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it doesn't make,
because he's not blowing his cheeks; he's blowing his neck.
And that's like, who I don't know. That just I don't see how that's possible. I don't see. I have here also a lawyer exposes a classified UFO. You want to hear about that?
Yes.
All right. So let's see. So this is an article. Oh, I think I have a little video. Perfect. So let's see. Just opening this up for you.
July the 16th, 1945, the day the atom bomb exploded. Everyone agrees this was an historic day. But some people believe it was also the day an alien conspiracy to take over our planet began. You see, apparently, this was an event which didn't just get noticed here on Earth. The shockwaves were felt across our galaxy and beyond.
Ever since the UFO phenomenon sort of exploded into public consciousness in the mid-late 1940s, people have wondered, you know, why now? Why now? And of course, the first answer people came upon was that, well, now we have the atomic bomb.
When we set off the first atomic bomb, there was such energy released that probably created ripples throughout our solar system, perhaps throughout the galaxy.
The signature
and
that I was
other advanced races out there kind of did a double take and went, oh my God, the kids have found the matches.
That's exactly it.
But it wasn't long after the nuclear blasts in the late 1940s that the first witness reports of UFOs began.
I think it was from outer space, but friendly.
According to the theory, these UFOs were alien craft who had arrived as an advanced guard. They were soon making contact with our rulers and negotiating terms. And if the theory is to be believed, an international conspiracy then began to hide any evidence of this contact. It's a cover-up which is still in full swing, or so some believe. Meet Peter Gersten, an all-American criminal lawyer. When he's not suing people and doing all the other things lawyers do, he's taking on the US government.
I was the first and only attorney ever to bring any lawsuits against the US government for UFO-related documents that actually made it into court.
His dogged persistence and knowledge of the American Freedom of Information laws eventually led to the release of hundreds of previously unseen documents.
I must have brought about 10 lawsuits. Even when they release documents, they've always withheld something within those documents. This affidavit is a perfect example. Half the affidavit is blacked out. If UFOs do not pose a threat,
Which
if UFOs
they did that
do
to
not
Trump.
represent an advanced technology, then
they did that to Trump recently.
Those redactions are ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing was.
I mean, why even have that as a document? Like,
I know.
All you practically see is the date.
Right. Why do you even give that out? Just say no. Just say no. But
it's ridiculous.
Let's continue here.
Why is this all deleted?
Why indeed? He says these documents reveal the American government's obsession with the UFO phenomenon, which began during the 1940s and 50s. They reveal the existence of government committees which were initially set up to investigate UFOs. But all along, the existence of these organizations was denied until finally they were all closed down, one by one. Despite the fact that governments kept telling the public there was no such thing as aliens, the aliens themselves didn't seem to be getting the message. Because according to Gersten, they just kept flying their spaceships through our skies. One case, which has been cited by many as proof of a vast conspiracy, conveniently happened in Gersten's backyard in Phoenix, Arizona.
The Phoenix Lights.
I'm going to get about 20 objects over the valley. A triangular-shaped object. What was in the sky last night?
The Phoenix Lights lasted anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, and there's never been a major investigation to determine what that was.
What is it?
I don't know. About 10:30 at night, there were about 7 lights that had a distinct formation that just stayed over Phoenix in a triangular pattern and then left. And it's amazing to me that something can appear so brazenly over a major metropolitan area and not be fully investigated.
The story gripped the local media, but the official response was some kind of military flares. Gersten returned to the courtroom, but even he couldn't prize an explanation out of the authorities.
The Freedom of Information Act is totally impotent. All they have to do is a reasonable search. And they say they did a reasonable search, we couldn't find anything, and the court goes along with that.
Now, the most convincing evidence that aliens have landed and those in power know about it would naturally be the sight of, well, an alien hanging out with the rich and powerful. Unfortunately, the absence of anything like this means believers had to rely on something less convincing, hearsay, and there's certainly been plenty of that.
I glanced up and there were 3 flying saucers at an altitude of 350 feet.
No one disagrees that in the 1940s there were lots of unidentified flying object sightings. Even the skeptics agree there have been a lot of these sightings, but they put that down to paranoia.
What's this all about? What's everybody running from? It's the end of everything. What do you mean?
There was, after all, something called the Cold War going on. When the West and the Soviets confronted each other with secret weapons, spy planes, and various other military thingamajigs.
But just recently, they had
the skeptics put
an alien sighting at the White House.
Yeah, recently they
Just
did.
recently.
Yeah, so I mean, this supposedly shows the world's strangest UFO stories, but I guess it's going over stuff that we've kind of been aware of, but this might be new for some of the audience members that are just listening or watching us. But what do you think of this report so far?
It's interesting. I mean, they didn't break any ground for me as far as that report, because there's a stuff that but I have something very interesting for you.
Okay.
I put it in the strange but true.
Oh, okay.
Segment.
But it looks like it's time for another break.
Perfect segue.
All right. So 1 second here.
Strange but true.
Economic Forum. I think there's a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
Always. All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
Then blow your head off, dude. I'm not going to do it. Nothing violent against you. Just shove a shotgun in your mouth and blow your brains out, buddy. Pour gasoline on yourself. Feed yourself into a wood chipper. Jump off a 50-story building. Just get out of my way. You want to kill people, big man? You like running your frickin' mouth talking about it? I say God's gonna step on you like a cockroach if you turn the lights on at midnight. You want death, brother? You're gonna get it. You like death? You're gonna get it. You understand that, you little piece of filth?
Good morning. I'm Wilford Brimley, and I'd like to treat you to an ice cream, an apple pie, and diabetes. Diabetes. I'd like to treat you to diabetes. Actually, I'm surrounded by diabetes. Now, one of the things I've learned to do is laugh at people with type 2 adult onset diabetes. And you ought to be laughing at people with type 2 adult onset diabetes every 15 or 20 minutes. I went to see a doctor. And I think the most important thing he said to me was, Wilford, I'm going to give you diabetes. Wilford, if you want to get type 2 adult onset diabetes, I'm going to give you type 2 adult onset diabetes. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly the way it's been. Now, I'm not perfect, and I've eaten ice cream and apple pie and ice cream and my medicine and people with diabetes and big. Have a good day.
This presentation is brought to you by Liberty Medical, helping you to manage your diabetes and get the supplies and support you need so you can live a better life.
It's funny that you bring that guy up because, all through my life, I've always said diabetes, right? After this guy, people started saying instead of diabetes, diabetes.
Diabetes. So we're in the fourth break here, and let's see if we have anything planned for this break. I believe. Let me see. Yes. So this was our little "What Me Say" segment here.
I love this guy.
Let me see if I have I might have a good one here. Let me see.
Pollution is a curse. And God said, let's curse pollution and put pollution in the reverse. And after we curse pollution and give pollution no bread, no butter, we cause pollution in the gutter from the Blue Ark. DJ Lee Strasberry, the now generation presenter of love, unity, peace, and harmony, riches, wealth, fortune, and fear, money and cash, will reverse to the Blue Ark of the covenant.
Love that dude.
Fuck you, what we do? How you afraid of frog the bomb quarter up? What you afraid of frog? I say for what? Even when your blood clot, don't scream for rum, so. Young boy like you, go for your old man. Bumbo clot, man. What you say, man? Bumbo clot.
What do you mean?
Where cold money there? You buy the cold?
What's that gonna
The a young bumbo clot work. Come on, come on.
What you call?
Now, what did he just say? Let me replay this. I would like to hear your analysis of this conversation.
All right, let's see.
Fuck you, what we do? How you afraid of frog the bomb quarter up? What you afraid of frog? I say for what? Even when your blood clot, don't scream for rum, so. Young boy like you, go for your old man.
What happened?
ESPN is. He first play it from the beginning again. Let's stay seconds.
Fuck you, what we do? How you afraid of frog the bumbo clock quarter rum? What is afraid of frog?
What is afraid of fraud? A bumbleclad. Well, bumbleclad is, a derogatory term, like like the F word, or if you go deep, it's a kind of discussing what a bumbleclad is. But he said, "What?"
I don't want to know what a bumble.
You don't want to. And when you slow the word down, it's actually your blood clot. You use blood clot, bumble clot.
Bumble clot.
Yeah, but he's blood. But he's referring to a fraud, right?
I guess
you're
so.
A fraud, the bumble clot man.
Fuck you, what we do? How you afraid of frog the bumbo clock quarter rum? What is afraid of frog?
Afraid of fraud.
What is afraid of fraud?
Fuck you, what we do? How you afraid of frog the bumbo clock quarter rum? What is afraid of frog? I say for what? Even though your blood clot, you no scream for rum, so.
Yes,
young boy like you could be old man.
I have no idea.
He has screamed for a scream for sir.
You buy the gold?
Pause. He said, "You buy the gold? You buy the gold?"
I don't know.
You buy the gold? I guess
from last night, your son them a look for your report. You're missing. Say you not come in last night. I can't believe it's a roadside you asleep. See a calico rum. But you big money.
I got that.
Okay, what
did you get?
I heard sleep, sip a liquor rum.
No, he said, I was asleep by the roadside. Rewind that.
Well, the way the clip goes, I have to play from in its entirety.
Okay.
Fuck you, what we do? How you afraid of frog the bumbo clock quarter rum? What is afraid of frog? I say for what? Even though your blood clot, you no scream for rum, so. Young boy like you could be a old man. Bumbo clot, man. What is a man? Bumbo clot.
What do you mean?
Where cold money there? You buy the cold?
What's up there?
Young bumbo clot work. Come on. But Mr. Brackle, from last night, your son them a look for your report. You're missing. Say you not come in last night. I can't believe it's a roadside you asleep.
You gonna sleep on the roadside?
But you what this big money? How we did? From morning, Mr. Duckus, I say me never buy my drink of rum yet. The man say me mean like run it. So me buy my quarter rum. Yeah, me buy my quarter and drink it off.
He bought himself a quart and drink it all.
What a tough language to master.
Yeah, bro. Actually,
but I'm speaking English.
Wow, that's tough. But I love my Jamaican people.
I love it too. And for those of you listening, I got engaged in Jamaica. That's one of my favorite places, and I can't wait to go back.
Lots of ganja over there, man.
Yes, lots of ganja.
Lots of buds, man.
Which I'm a big fan of.
If you burn down how does it go? If you burn down the if you burn down the weeds, I'm gonna burn down your cane fields. That's the way the song goes. If you continue to burn down the weed, I'm gonna burn down the cane fields. That's the way it goes.
And with that, really quickly, just go to thePyramidShop.com and you can check out the Pyramid supplements. Check it out. We got crazy supplements that are great for you. We got Brain Boost. That's great for your mushroom extracts that are great for your mind. We got Fortify. We got Optimal. We got Leo, which is lion's mane mushroom. We got Flow. We got Thrive. All great supplements that you can have that are there to help support your brain, support your body, give you the nutrients that you need. And the Brain Boost is a gummy, so it's also easy to digest.
Yes. And then we also got the Java for the morning.
That's right.
Also infused with mushrooms.
which is the fungi coffee. And that's lion's mane and chaga mushrooms infused coffee. And the idea is, again, to support brain health, cellular regeneration, and to, give you a nice kick in your
Which
morning.
initially, fungi coffee can make you into
a fun guy.
A fun guy.
That's right. And you know what? Life in space is fungi. That's the only things that we know of right now that can survive.
That's
out
right.
in space. And did you know that unlike the space station, they get because they're hovering around in orbit around the Earth.
Right.
Apparently, they get fungus on their windshield, on the glass little panels or whatever.
Inside or outside?
Outside the ship. They get
How is that possible?
Because mushrooms don't need oxygen to breathe.
Okay.
Right.
And it's dark. Another thing that
right. So fungus is the only thing that can exist in the vacuum of space.
Okay. I mean, I got a question for you before we go to our strange but true, because before we end this podcast, I want to dissect this. But now that you bring up mushrooms and fungi and is things like peyote is a mushroom?
Peyote, I believe it's like a fruit. I can look that. I can look that up.
I thought peyote was
it's like a fruit. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like a cactus. It's like an agave fruit.
Really?
Yeah. This is peyote. It's like a.
Okay, so which is that mushroom that people ingest and it like changes your world? Like, wow.
You're thinking of psilocybin inducing mushrooms. And that's several. Let me see. As you can clearly see, that I do not know how to spell this. Psilocybin.
Okay, the reason I asked, let me just see something.
Okay, here we go. So here, the magic mushroom, or the psilocybin mushroom, is known as. Oh no, that is it. That is the name of the mushroom, psilocybin.
That's
I thought that was a name. I thought that was the name of the compound. It is. Let's see. Psilocybin is a naturally occurring psychedelic pro-drug compound produced by more than 200 species of fungi. Oh, so more than 200 different species of fungi produce psychedelic effects. So let me see. What are those species of mushrooms? Available forms, although psilocybin may be prepared synthetically outside of research. Let's see, pharmacology. I want to see what are the natural occurrence. Psilocybin is present in varying concentrations over 200 species of Basidiomycota mushrooms. And the Gaston Guzman, let me see, in a 2000 review, a worldwide distribution of hallucinogenic mushrooms, Gaston Guzman and colleagues considered these to be distributed amongst the fellow genera psilocybe, Gymnoplius. How would you pronounce these names? Oh my goodness. Panalius, Copelandia, Hypalmia. Oof. These are hard mushrooms to pronounce. But if you guys want to find out of all the species, they're right here of the mushrooms here. And see if I can make this bigger for those that are just watching.
Well, the whole reason for my question about this whole hallucinogenic mushroom, are they illegal?
Yes. Well, federally they're illegal, but in certain states they are illegal in certain states.
So like a company, like there's a lot of here in town, there's like a company called INSA, there's a company called
what, like dispensaries?
Yeah, like all these dispensaries.
Mhm.
Can dispensaries produce mushrooms?
Well, I don't know if it's legal here on the East Coast, but I know for sure it is legal in Colorado. I believe that
So
is
you can buy mushrooms, hallucinogenic mushrooms in Colorado at a dispensary.
At a dispensary, yes.
So that's soon going to be available in other states.
Yes, there's some pushback, but yes, it is possible.
What's the pushback against hallucinogenic mushrooms?
People just are, the same pushback that is with cannabis. People are just not aware of, the benefits of the mushrooms, and they have their beliefs that people are going to just be more doped out, or that it's just not good for society. Blah, blah,
Isn't
blah.
like a mushroom trip? How long does a mushroom trip last?
Well, a mushroom trip lasts. It could last between 6 to 12 hours, maybe longer.
Ooh,
maybe
that's a
longer.
long time.
Yeah,
you can't drive while.
No, not really. I mean, some people, it varies on the person to person, but normally, no. Yeah, I wouldn't drive.
That's the sticking point with making that legal.
Well, the thing is, like what people don't see or people don't realize with mushrooms is that mushrooms is not like smoking cannabis or smoking marijuana or whatever, or cocaine or fentanyl or all these other drugs, because the high of mushroom is not an addictive feeling. It's a very misplacing feeling. It's a dissociating feeling. And
some people reference to that feeling as like an awakening, and they awake something in their mind that was like dormant. Or
yeah, I mean, it's like trying to understand the language that God speaks in. It's almost incomprehensible.
It's like tapping. It's like peeling an onion.
Well, yeah, it's like
tapping into an unseen world where like that movie They Live. You put on these glasses and now you can see the aliens.
Right.
You take the mushrooms and now you see stuff.
Kind of. It's like that in a way.
But more sensory, like.
Okay, the way I could explain it is, you know how a lot of people talk to themselves and they have like this inner voice and they have like this thing.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, you just
I talk to I call myself a Mog. Half human, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
Right.
I find myself screaming at myself like, what the fuck? Why the fuck did you do that?
Right. So you see that voice in your head, the mushroom hijacks that voice in your head, and it's not you. It's not you. These ideas are being given to you by the mushroom. It's very weird. It's hard to explain, and it sounds weird to say it, but
So do you consider the mushroom hallucinogenic?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can hallucinate for sure, but
not like LSD.
I mean, I haven't tried LSD, so I don't really have any frame of reference. But as far as I'm told, I mean, they have very similar reactions. It's just that LSD is like a more of a potent chemical version of what the mushroom does naturally.
Because from listening to Joe Rogan,
Mhm.
and I've never tried it. I
Mhm.
never. The worst I've done is weed.
Mhm.
You know, I never tried any drugs. But the way
You've
Joe,
had a little. I've given you a little
oh, that's right. You did
microdose.
get you gave me a little dose of mushrooms,
Did you
right?
feel anything of?
Nothing.
Well, that's how microdosing works. And the thing is, when you take a huge, massive, heroic dose, which is what you're supposed to take, you're supposed to, like, when you have mushrooms, you don't just take a little bit, like with coke, you take a little bit and you put it in your gums, or you snort a little. I mean, I don't know, because I don't have any experience, but I based on the
You
movie.
better not have any experience.
I'm old enough, all right. No, I don't have any experience because I don't want any experience. I don't have any desire. I only go by the information. This is why I'm an avid cannabis user, because there's more benefits by me smoking cannabis than there are detractors. There are people out there that their whole job is to demonize the plant, and it can't seem to find, things to pin it on. So, but that's not the same to be said for cocaine. There's a lot of people, especially the users, that show that this is not good for them, or for the.
Oh, I've seen the debacle.
Yeah.
I used to have a
So-
business next to a rehab center, so I know.
But the
Very few. I don't think I ever met one person go through that rehab center that say, "Yeah, my downfall was mushrooms,"
No, because it's not.
or to the fact that my downfall was cannabis.
Mm.
You know, at that time they used to say that cannabis was a gateway drug,
Mhm.
but I beg to differ.
Yeah, I think if anything, cannabis is more of like uh it depends on how people get introduced to cannabis, I think. Because if you're getting introduced to cannabis through a drug dealer from the corner, from the street corner, that also sells, Percocets and cocaine or whatever, then in that aspect it might be a gateway drug. But if you're getting it from a dispensary, right, where
Because I've heard, at least, from the street cannabis,
Mhm.
that you could spray the cannabis with some shit, and now the cannabis is taking a different.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. You can get stepped on, weed, that's the street term, stepped on, when they add chemicals or whatever. But, as growing plants now, which for those of you that are listening, I grow plants now, cannabis plants, and growing them, there's things that I didn't know that, aren't healthy necessarily for you, that I'm certain that these drug cartels or people that were selling it, that weed that I smoked before dispensaries became more popular, was that there's things like powdery mold and things that happen.
Well, don't give away too much, because I want to do a podcast
Mhm.
strategically focused on this. I want to interview you
on me.
Yes, on what you're doing and your experience with cannabis and your experience with mushrooms.
Mm.
So don't give away too much.
Well, what I was just basically going over is that, like, um, the gateway thing is not so much in terms of what the drug actually does. It's not so much that you're like craving. In fact, I don't know any potheads that that crave other drugs or want other things. They'd rather just smoke and just relax, and that's the whole.
Now, would you say cannabis is addictive?
I think anything can be addictive for sure. I think anything, if used incorrectly and improperly, can be addictive. Because if you're using cannabis, for example, as a means to just skirt your responsibilities, or a way to
Mask
avoid
something.
a situation or a problem or something that's going on in your life, then it's obviously not going to be beneficial. But if you're using cannabis to enhance a workout, if you're using cannabis to, avoid taking pharmaceutical drugs like Tylenol, Advil, and stuff like that for aches and pains, if you're using cannabis for things that are productive so that you can continue to be a productive member of society, then in that situation, it's good. But it's not really addictive. It's addictive in the sense that you use these things for your daily life, but the minute you stop, you're not like, oh, I mean, in your mind, you're like, oh, this would I would prefer it, but it's not like you're having flu-like symptoms, or you're going through
Because
withdrawal
the
or
reason
anything
I
like that.
ask is I'm an avid cigar smoker. I love cigars. But what I love about the cigar, it does give you like a certain type of mellowness. But what I like about it, it's the meditating aspect of it. It's a relaxing thing.
And that's the same.
The tobacco does seep through your gums, and it does mellow you out a little bit. But I think it's the whole experience of smoking a cigar that I enjoy, which is first lighting the cigar, then once it's lit, the first puff, and the ash, and playing with the smoke, and thinking, and all that. But I could go months without smoking, and I don't have like, oh, I need a cigar.
That's the same with cannabis.
All I feel is like, man, I need to chill one of these days and sit down
Right.
and have a smoke.
Right. That's the same feeling with cannabis. You can it's the same feeling. You can go months without having and not like feel like, oh, I need to have it. But you feel like, like the guy that's at the party that is not drinking for the night. You just feel like, oh, it would be nice if I could drink, but you know what? I can't. So I can't. So I'm just gonna make the best that I can. Some people get the big thing that happens, the withdrawal symptom that happens with cannabis is the flood of dreams, because what happens when you smoke, and that's partly why I'm such a big avid user, is because I suffer from something called parasomnia, which is uh chronic night terrors, and the things I see, I have horrible dreams and whatever. But with cannabis, when I smoke, I don't have any dreams that I can remember anyway. And the reason being is that what cannabis does, it skirts the REM sleep and just drops you right into deep sleep. So like when you're in normal sleep patterns, is like you go from light sleep.
So wait a minute. So you're saying that when you're on cannabis, you don't dream?
I don't dream, no.
Oh no, I can't have that.
No, that's one of my favorite aspects, because I have terrible dreams. So when
I do suffer from having terrible dreams, but at the same time, I do have some pretty fantastic dreams that led to me writing some fantastic stories. And for people that don't know, I fancy myself an amateur writer. I like to write. But not to cut you short, but we're at the third hour.
Well, we're still in the right now. We're in the fifth segment here, fifth out of the sixth segment. So, this segment we divulged to, or we set aside for the strange but true.
Now, with that said, I want to, make this the ending of our show.
Well, we still got one more little segment at the end of this that we can.
Well, we're at the third hour, but anyway, look at Strange but True. And I'm going to give you a little bit of history here. I don't know how I can pronounce this, but from the spelling of there's a guy named by the name of William Pynchon, Pynchon, Pynchon or Pynchon, and a company of 6 men from Roxbury, near a town of Boston, established Springfield in the year 1636 at the junction of the Agawam and Connecticut rivers. Now, this guy is the founder of the town of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Now, Springfield, Massachusetts is famous for a lot of things, but their main crown and glory is they have claimed to be the creator of basketball, and they believe the first game of basketball was in Springfield.
Okay.
Which is another topic for another podcast, which now is coming to light that maybe their Springfield was not
really?
Yes, it looks like it's a whole weird story where a guy running the YMCA received a letter from upstate New York, and we'll get into that more in depth. But the reason I bring up William Pynchon is, or Pynchon, I don't know how to say his last name, but there was a painting depicted of William Pynchon with the Agawam Indians. And it was made, I believe, in 1936. So if you look at the Trello on the Strange but True, there's the painting. I put it up there.
Okay, so this 1930s painting, proof of
time travel. Be careful not to give it away. Be careful. Now put up the painting.
Okay. Hold on.
Because there's a strange anomaly in this painting.
Okay.
Okay, now, is there any way you can enhance this?
Let's see.
There it goes, right there.
Let's see.
That's the whole painting right there. Okay, can you zoom in a bit? Now, stop it right there. Now, you see to your far right. There's keep going down. Keep right there. See that guy? He's like doing something, right? That looks very reminiscent of what?
Wait a minute. Not this guy. Look at this guy. He has a cell phone.
I was gonna get to him.
Oh shit. He has an iPhone. When was this painting made?
1936.
What?
So the reason I brought the guy up on the far right, it looks like he also he's like doing like a selfie.
Right.
And then the Indian is like looking at the cell phone.
It looks like an iPhone. It looks
and it looks like the guy that's in like he's like has his cuff behind with his hand. He's like trying to get in like on the selfie. And like the guys behind him are like posing for the selfie.
Right.
And like the Indians on the far left, they're like, how is he seeing himself? on this device.
Yeah, they're like, what is going on here?
Yeah, and it's all centered around the Indian with this device in his hand.
Huh.
Now, how did this make it into a painting painted in 1936? Now, if you go back to the to the article, you could break down what they say on the.
Wow. So the painting called Mr. Pinchon and the Settling of Springfield. It depicts William Pinchon, who was a fur trader who founded Springfield, Massachusetts in 1936.
In 1636.
Oh, I'm sorry, in 1636, 1636.
That earns you
Yep, that earns me the unfortunate
prescription jugs.
Outstanding. So it says here, here's a closer look at the man holding the smartphone. And it says, in all fairness, its size and shape do resemble that of a smartphone. Plus, he's also holding it the way people hold phones today. He is. Dr. Margaret Burchak from University of Pennsylvania said it does bear an uncanny resemblance, but it's probably an iron blade.
Now bring that down, the picture down. An iron blade. I mean, what is he? He's looking at it as like, oh, this is sharp.
He's confused at what he's looking at. Look at his face.
Yeah.
And then these people here, they're like, what the hell is he looking at?
But then the people behind them are like, yeah, like like posing.
Mm-hmm. And what is this black thing here?
Yeah, like I was trying to decipher that. Like, what is? Like he has like some kind of like, I guess a cape or a jacket like draped over his arm, but he's looking at his hand. Like he also has a device, and he's like also posing. And then behind him, there's a guy with like a stick. It's a strange painting.
It is. How'd you stumble upon this guy?
I saw like a lot, there's like it's trending as proof of time travel.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up because that's one of the things I want to talk about today, and I'll bring this up to set up the next episode and give it a little teaser. I know we didn't really get to it, but I do also have things that about the controlling of the weather and things of that nature.
Oh yes, I wanted to do
because right now it's coming to the light that there's government funded programs, and Bill Gates is one of these people that are trying to block out the sun. And what is the thing?
What's the gain from blocking out the sun?
The idea is to prevent
making the planet colder.
To prevent global warming, they would need to block out the sun
by way of like a solar sail or some kind of like,
by way of some kind of like releasing these kind of particles into the air. It's some kind of like
a filter, like something to filter the
sun,
kind of like block the sun.
I mean, I can bring it up, but I'll bring that up in the next. I have the full report for you in the next episode. But
that's interesting.
It's some it reminds me of the Matrix, because that is what it was told to us in the Matrix, was that the reason we were underground is because the sky was scorched, right? Remember, they scorched the sky. Now, another facet to this whole thought process is that they are trying to block the sun, but at the same time promoting solar panels and all these things, which will render, if you're blocking out the sun.
You brought up something very intriguing. Damn, we're going over time, but you brought up something very intriguing about the Matrix. They scorched the sun, meaning that they burned the sun.
Well, they scorched the sky. That's what he said.
They
right?
scorched the sky.
They scorched the sky so
now we don't have the protection of the atmosphere.
Well, in the Matrix movie, the reason it was because the machines ran on solar power, so we blocked the sun from our sky to fight the machines.
This is why we went underground.
Right. So because now the machines, we went underground because we made the earth uninhabitable, right? The crust, the layer that we live on now, right, is inhabitable. We need to go on the ground to even be alive, right? And the way we've done that, it didn't just say that explicitly in the Matrix, but through nuclear fallout and through a way of us deliberately.
That's the segue because I just found out that there's a place in Turkey, right? And it's dated like I think about I don't know how many, about 1,000 years ago, or even older than that, where these people created an underground city. I mean, this is a sight to behold. It goes for miles and miles and miles.
Oh yeah, I think wasn't I the one that showed you that, or
in Turkey?
Yeah, where
I was listening to this, looking at this at Gaia.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, I know of a report that I was watching that some guy was looking in his basement. He wanted to do a renovation, and he found some tunnels.
Oh, that was in Turkey?
I believe that was in Turkey.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, the name of the place that I'm talking about is, you see, under.
While you're looking for that, I had this here. I was looking up as well.
Wanted to know what the Matrix is, Neo? Trinity?
Spoiler alert for those that are watching. There's a little segment here from the Matrix, but I think it's important because it's one of the things Alex Jones mentions a lot in his broadcasts is that the movies mimic reality, or we're getting clues through the movies, and we don't realize that we are, but these things escape.
They're sort of prophetic, right?
Yeah.
And hold on to that thought while we look at this.
This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
Is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
That's our
dialogue is like mesmerizing.
That's our social media.
How do
the
you
digital
define
projection of our physical
If
self.
you're talking about what you can feel, what you can
It's
smell.
funny that you were saying that Alex
Real is
Jones
simply
is always saying how art imitates life and how it's prophetic. You know that show Black Mirror?
Yeah.
the writer, I believe Black Mirror has how many seasons? 3 seasons?
5, I think.
Well, the original writer of Black Mirror, he went like, loco in the cabeza because everything that he was writing for the show
started coming true.
And he stopped. He's like, I got to stop this. Because he was fearing like everything that he was writing was coming to fruition. So the same thing with this.
Yeah, so art imitates life, and
now the name of the city, for people that are hanging on about this underground, it's called Cappadocia. Cappadocia. It says here, more than 85 miles beneath the famous fairy chimneys of Cappadocia lies a massive subterranean city that was near constant use for thousands of years. Now, can you imagine New York City, right, and its population living underground? This is what Cappadocia was.
Wow.
You have and it has like vents. It has vents that come out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and it's like it's like a place where they have like an aquifer in the furthest lowest part of the city, of this underground city, and it's all built around like
So I was thinking, like you brought up the Matrix, how they're living underground, and then this Cappadocia. I mean, it looks like history repeating itself. Like maybe this is not our first rodeo.
There's a lot of things that I'm trying to piece together, because I got also a report here that I don't know the history that we know, and I mean obviously we do know of some of it, but the reported history that we know is kind of skewed. It's not accurate. It's not factual history. It is what the powers that be allow
It's been
us,
redacted,
right? Or for example, you have the Paul Revere story, right? That in the United States, people believe that Paul Revere is the single man that warned everybody of, the British are coming, and he was on horseback. Apparently, Paul Revere didn't go cover as much territory as they claim that he did.
They say that this other dude did it. What's his name?
Israel Bissell.
Israel Bissell. That's right.
Now, that story, the Paul Revere story, the reason it became so popular is they liked his name. Paul Revere sounds like a memorable name, and they liked his particular story of like, but in reality, there was other people that were better than him at alerting, the troops that, the British were coming. But
now Paul Revere was part of the Minutemen, right?
I believe so, yes. So he is important to the story, but the way history writes it is he was the single most important person of this whole situation that alerted us to this problem. But it wasn't, he wasn't acting alone. In fact, there were people that were doing better than he was that are just forgotten in history, right? So one of the things that the report that I found, and I'll try to bring it up from one of the episodes here, was that we might be missing a bunch of years. Like right now, we think we're in the year 2022, but in reality, it might actually be the year 16 something, and they just shoved in a bunch of like years in the calendar, because apparently back in the days, back in the medieval times, it looks like we've reached our sixth segment here and our final 30 minutes is upon us, but let me finish my thought here. So it seems like back in the medieval times here, there was a moment, like they're trying to find through archaeological digs, there's like, I think, a period of the 300 to 600 years of the medieval ages. That didn't exist. That it just, there's nothing
There's
of
a
that.
gap.
There's a gap where there's no tools or artifacts of anything of that time period. It's
Which is
before and after.
Isn't that why they call it the Dark Ages?
Right, the Dark Ages, right? There's nothing before or after. It's just, you have some pieces of the Middle Ages of like, the swords and stuff, and then you have all the stuff that's after. And apparently, if you think about it logically, right, we've been growing, consistently in making better and better technology as humanity progresses. But for this period of like 300 to 600 years, there was no growth. That we were the same, right? So
Google how long the Dark Ages lasted.
Let me see.
I thought it was 600 years, but I might be wrong.
$900 years.
900 years.
That's right. It's a period of 900 years that we just made up. Apparently, there was some kings, at the time they were still making calendars. Everybody was following different systems or whatever, and they were all like, doing their own thing until I guess the Roman.
In that 900 year of the Dark Ages, is Camelot in that period? The Knights of the Round Table and Sir Lancelot.
I'm not sure.
Let me see something, because that's one of the most famous.
What I'm getting at here is that what the report that I found, what they were saying was that period of 900 years was made up by a king, and the reason he did that is because he wanted to be the king of the next century. You're right. He wanted to be the king of the century or whatever.
Okay.
Or no, not the century. I'm not sure if he meant if it was century. Yeah, century. Like we're in the 21st century.
Right.
He wanted to be the king of the century. Of whatever, I forgot what century he wanted to be. He just, I'm assuming 900 years. Let's say if it was, let's say it was the 9th century, and he wanted to be in the 20th century. He just moved it up to the 18th century, right? Because if it was 9, he moved it up 900 years, right? So he moved it up to the century to make it whatever number. I forgot what number it was, but let's say.
Okay, so hold it right there.
Let's say it was the 18th century, right? If he was a 9th century king, he wanted to be the 18th century king, right? So he rewrote the calendar to reflect that.
Okay, now this is during the Dark Ages?
During the Dark Ages.
Now, my question right now is, you have the Renaissance, right? Before the Renaissance was what? The medieval?
I guess the medieval. Let me see. When is the Dark Ages? What period of time? So, okay, yeah, here. Look, between the 5th and 14th centuries was the 900 years of the Dark Ages.
Now the medieval came after the Dark Age, right?
Let's see. So it says here, after patriarchs' disparagement of the Dark Age of literature, other thinkers of the time expanded to encompass the perceived Dark culture generally across Europe between 500 and 1400. So it's saying here, later on, as more evidence came to light after the 18th century, scholars started to restrict the term Dark Ages to a period between the 5th and 10th century. This period became referred to as the early Middle Ages. So it's kind of, they label certain times as the Dark Ages. But let me see if I find it here. Just a quick report here.
Again, this is what we do on the Pyramid Podcast. We're learning as we do the show.
So the thing is called the phantom time hypothesis. Okay. And it says here the phantom time hypothesis is a historical conspiracy theory asserted by Hilbert Illig, first published in 1991. It hypothesizes a conspiracy by the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and possibly the Byzantine Emperor Constantine.
Byzantium.
The Byzantine Emperor Constantine, the seventh, to fabricate the Anno Domini, dating Anno Domini, okay, dating system retroactively. To fabricate the Anno Domini dating system retroactively, in order to place them at a special year at AD 1000, and to rewrite history to legitimize Otto's claim to the Holy Roman Empire. Illig believed that this was achieved through the alteration, misinterpretation, and forgery of documentary and physical evidence. According to this scenario, the entire Carolingian period, including the figure of Charlemagne, is a fabrication with a phantom time of 297 years between AD 614 to AD 911, added to the early.
So they're saying that Charlemagne was
fabricated.
What?
That he wasn't a real person.
That's one of the most famous.
Yeah, they're saying that he was a fabricated person to make sense of the missing years. But if you try to look for evidence for him in those time period, it doesn't exist.
So there's no evidence of Charlemagne ever existed.
Right. According to this guy, Hilbert Illig.
That's interesting.
So yeah, this is a really interesting theory here. But the reason I bring it up is because one of the things that the Matrix even says is, you really think it's 1990. You think it's 1999, but in reality, it's closer to 2299 or whatever he said. And it's like they're messing with your time. They're messing with what you think, what time we are in. So from that alone, you can see how the history that we know is kind of vague. We don't know if that's true. Then we're really thinking that it's 2022 and we celebrate the year 23 2020. We're realizing that we're just perpetuating the lie. We're just it's not really 2023. And the Jewish people, they know what the real year is, and so do the Chinese people. They don't believe it's 2022 either. Right,
because we're under the Gregorian calendar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But before the Gregorian calendar, we used to adhere to a Roman.
Well, yeah. So what this phantom time hypothesis and this guy Robert Illig or Herbert I don't know.
German.
Yeah. Herbert Illig. What he basically laid out was that, first of all, he was saying that this missing time period, right? There's no way you can locate or find things of that time period. It's hard to find anything in that missing chunk. But he says before that time, everybody was, off of their own calendars. Everybody was doing their own thing. And it became a mess because to do any sort of logistics, shipping, trading on any of any sort, how could you say, oh, I'll meet you on this day when this day for you means one thing and this day for the other party meant a totally different thing.
Right.
So they needed
there was not no centralized
calendar. So that's what they needed to create, a centralized calendar
that everybody
follows. And then from that moment, they were realizing, okay, the earth doesn't exactly spin 365 days around the sun. Sometimes we have more, sometimes we have less. So they were trying to like figure it out so that way we can get as close to accurate as possible. And they figured it out. But the way they did that was shoving in all these days to make it even. Because otherwise it wouldn't work out. It wouldn't, like, the math wouldn't work out.
That's interesting because I saw a very interesting dude that he was saying that we have months missing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you say September, Sept is what?
Sept. That's a good question. It's 7th. No?
7th.
All right.
October.
8th. Right.
November. Nov.
Yeah. 9. Right. December. 10. But that's in the wrong order.
Right.
So
he's saying there's like a gap. That he started off by, he said there's January, February, and he was like naming months, and the correlation is that there should be more months. There's like, instead of it being 12 months, it should be 13 months. So we like cut something down. So the whole thing of the reason we brought up this whole thing is that A, time travel, B, missing years, and we might be in another. We're not in 2022 initially.
I mean, the people that have been consistently keeping track were the Chinese and the Jewish, and they both have a completely different year of what we're in. Right? We're in what's the Jewish number? Let's see. The Jewish year is 5,783.
5,000?
Yeah, we're in the year 5,783.
And in the Chinese?
Uh, 4,715.
See, not too far away.
No, they're very close.
They're right there.
Right. So I don't know, but we believe we're in 2022. So what's accurate or what's not accurate, I don't know. But yeah, I mean that's a thing. So
now, we're in 2022, and they're at 5,000. How many years is that in difference?
Well, let's see. Well, if you want to go with the Jewish number, 5,783.
Which it translates to 5073. It's like $3,000 right there. 2,000 years.
It's about 3,583. Yeah.
So we're a lot older,
right,
than what we're giving credit to.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, we got missing. We got a missing 1,000 years.
Right.
That we have no history.
Right. So
and if we do find history, we probably shove it under the rug so that it doesn't disrupt what's already written in the records.
So the reason we bring this up, and we're getting closer to the end here, but so we let's go back to the initial where I started off with the desert of the real, because one of the things that we'll bring it up in the next podcast. I promise the next episode we'll bring it up for sure. Is the climate change, and one of the things that we were noticing, or that I found, was that they're trying to block out the sun. And that a lot of the things that movies and things they do is they either somehow predict the future. There's a lot of predictive, like, let's say Back to the Future. A lot of the things in Back to the Future actually came true. There's a lot of things that, even the damn Nike shoe that wasn't Back to the Future, they freaking made it so that it's a real thing. So, movies and reality, they're kind of mirrors of each other. And what did the Matrix say that we did? We blocked out the sun.
We scorched the skies.
Right.
And it's funny because
we did that to fight the machines, right? Because the machines ran on solar power.
Right.
And so then the machines went, oh, you're going to try to stop us by killing our energy supply. We're going to use you, the humans, as our energy supply. So let's say in this scenario that in reality, the robots are our smartphones, right?
Okay.
Right now, we're gonna scorch the sky, right, and have it impossible for us to do fossil fuels, all these things that we've known that society's been built on this whole time, right? We're gonna unplug that, and it could be that where we're gonna go next, right? The machine goes to the body. We use, our body somehow sustains the machine, right? And that's how. So technically, in the Matrix world, we're technically cyborgs. We're kind of like.
Well, it's very strange that you're saying that, because I was listening to Coast to Coast and they were saying that that's initially where we're headed. Is and this is their spin on it, was that the aliens is their agenda to make us into cyborgs. And as you can see, Elon Musk has his finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about scorching the skies. Did you hear that it says over here, Elon Musk plans to put billboards in space.
Billboards in space?
Yes.
How the hell would you put?
So now in the night sky, amongst the constellation, you're going to be able to see Coca-Cola.
Oh my God. So yeah, I have it here. Let me see.
Wow, we've covered a lot of territory today.
Yeah, we did. We went all over the map. Let's see. And that I didn't even get to what I kind of wanted to go through, but we had a surprise guest today.
Yes.
So I'm happy with that.
Our boots on the ground in Tampa.
The Warlock. So SpaceX to launch billboard into space, is it legal? Experts weigh in. It said this month, Business Insider reported that a space flight firm, SpaceX, is assisting in plans to send an advertising billboard into space. The project will consist of a tiny CubeSat-sized satellite with pixelated screen on one side. The satellite is expected to launch in early 2022.
Oh, so what are they going to project that into the sky?
So it's supposedly already is projected to go into the. It's supposed to be early, so maybe it's coming soon. And followers will see the screen from Earth thanks to an attached selfie stick pointed at the action. And the satellite is the brainchild of the Canadian startup Geometric Energy Corporation. The company has enlisted SpaceX's service to launch the satellite. While SpaceX will use the Falcon 9 rocket and launch services to send the project into orbit, the satellite itself is from GEC. In the race to commercialize space, an ad billboard is perhaps one of the least desirable outcomes, even though this one will likely be far smaller than anything you might see at the side of a highway. Agreements like the 1967 Outer Space Treaty govern how nations and groups use space. Still, there is no current legislative reason to why SpaceX or anyone else can't launch a satellite into space, even if it could disrupt the night sky. But the argument is, you don't own space. You can't just launch freaking satellites and advertise in space. Like, who are you to like just put that flag out there?
That's interesting. I'm not agreeing with that. Like,
yeah,
I like my constellations, but the problem with this is, and now check this spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
You put up a satellite that can project images in space.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, now who are you gonna believe? Are they aliens or not?
That's gonna be even harder to determine.
And I think that's the objective. To hide.
Maybe.
And that way now we got, that's just a satellite projecting. Oh, that was just the same way with remember that fake broadcast that happened in the 1950s with Orson Welles, where he said we're being attacked by aliens.
Right.
And then they were like,
the worlds.
Yeah, world. So there's, I don't know.
And with that, we have reached the end of the podcast.
Folks, it was great. What a great podcast. We were all over the place, but thank you for tuning in. We had a great time today. We covered a lot of ground and a lot of conspiracies, and we had a surprise visit from the warlock, our man Boots on the Ground in Florida.
And we got things going early, so that was the best surprise. We got you guys this podcast a little bit earlier in the evening this time around, so you guys didn't have to wake up to the wee hours to watch our podcast.
Yes, and this is gonna be more or less the norm. We're gonna work on a 6 o'clock start. We're getting closer to that. We started at 7 today?
We started around 7.
Yeah, so we're gonna
7:30 around there.
We're gonna be a little bit more consistent. But again, I just want to remind everybody that, as much as we like doing this, we would love a little injection, as far as donations go. And now the fact that we got merch, the merch is now, can be part of your donation, and you get something in return. Great supplements, great coffee, and some cool gear. You can sport out, the Pyramid Podcast gear, and anybody asks you, hey, tune into the pyramidshop.com, and there you're going to see the Pyramid Podcast.
And if you are a coffee drinker, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if you're gonna go to the supermarket and buy your coffee, just go to the pyramidshop.com and you can just buy your coffee from us. No other coffee is gonna give you the peace of mind that you have supported a freedom of speech broadcast radio like we are. We stand for the freedom of speech. We stand for what this nation of the United States truly built its ideals on, and we are here to really broadcast that signal out to everybody out there. And we wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for our founding fathers.
And I don't think they're going to be able to get this particular coffee at your regular
no,
supermarket.
Definitely not. You're not going to be able to get mushroom infused coffee. And you know what? It's great coffee. It's good to wake up, and it's great for your mind. It's great for your cellular regeneration. So, I mean, if you're going to be buying coffee, why not support a podcast and get the benefits at the same time? And that's what I have to say with that.
Well, folks, it's been great. We ran 46 minutes over our usual. I want to thank the Warlock for stopping in. I want to thank our audience for tuning in. And remember,
if the universe is infinite,
then so are the possibilities.
Light yourself on fire! Come on, you moral crusaders, let's see a little smoke to match that fire in your belly. Here's another question I have. How come when it's us, it's an abortion, and when it's a chicken, it's an omelet? Hey. Hey. What? Are we so much better than chickens all of a sudden? When did this happen? And we passed chickens in goodness. Name 6 ways we're better than chickens. See, nobody can do it. You know why? Because chickens are decent people. You don't see chickens hanging around in drug gangs, do you? You don't see a chicken strapping some guy to a chair and hooking up his nuts to a car battery, do you? When's the last chicken you heard about came home from work and beat the shit out of his hen? Huh? Doesn't happen, because chickens are decent people.